Hello and welcome to the Immortalis Rising podcast number 4. I am your friendly neighborhood swag monster. I'm joined here by my co-host Loka.
Hey.
I also have another guest here, newly promoted to officer. And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey guys, my name's Bo. You all probably know me as Bo. So, happy to be here. It's awesome. Officer now. A little more fun stuff to get done. Fearless, flawless, raider, leader. That was hard.
Yeah, no, that's we're going to talk about that a little bit, kind of as a thing that we do on Immortalis Rising, like as a clan. What's your? I know you like to bounce between the characters. What's your main character subclass that you prefer?
Warlock and Stormcaller, because Stormcaller is just so good in sixes.
That's awesome. I would agree. I remember having a 41 kill game with a Stormcaller.
Oh yeah.
Being fed by bubbles.
That's awesome.
So just to review for everyone who's listening, or if you're new, this week is going to be a little different because I'll have live footage on YouTube this time. I recorded some gameplay last night, some trials with Bo and T-Mac. We'll have that live for you guys to watch. And we kind of work, week in review is kind of how we do it. So we review like the Gunsmith, Xur. We'll talk about the Trials map this week. And then we'll jump into this week at Bungie, which is where the big news is this week. And we'll see where that leads us, because we're going to talk about the update in April, what that means for the update in the fall, and eventually in 2017 when we're expecting Destiny 2, or whatever they call it. And we'll close with some of the clan activities going on, kind of like Bill mentioned with the Flawless Raider, as well as some questions from the clan that we picked up on Reddit this week. So just some housekeeping. Again, take a look at our website, immortalisrising.com. It includes playtime, activity, last time you logged in, both your Iron Banner and Trials ELO. I think it refreshes every 24 hours. Is that correct, Luca?
Sorry, say that again.
Oh,
the website. Yeah, I think it's like 24 hours.
24-hour refresh. So don't. It's not Destiny Trials report. Don't hit it every second.
Yeah, we had to. I think Wolfie had to dial it back a little bit because we were getting blocked from Bungie.
Got it. That API request. We
Yep.
also have our Reddit, r/Immortalis Rising, one word. We have our Twitter up and running. Jonak is running the Twitter. If you're streaming or post a YouTube video, he will find it and retweet it. Kind of keep it up. That's at IMMO Rising, I believe. And again, our Bungie.net clan, Immortalis Rising. So, because we have a whole bunch of new people, we got an influx of people, hopefully they're listening. Loco, why don't you give us a little background on the clan, kind of what your philosophy was?
As far as
Starting it and kind of where we are, we are now.
yeah, it's mostly for the new people, of course. So the background is pretty much we got tired of trying to rely on LFG groups, and since I had some experience in running a WoW guild and leading raids in there and actually running the guild, I asked Lucy, aka Crazy Throat, do you want to run a clan? You want to make a clan? She said yes, and that's pretty much it. And the whole idea behind the clan after that is pretty much Destiny is the glue that binds us, is what brings us together, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy other games on the PS4 together, as evident by Division, which is a nice distraction while we wait for new content from Destiny, which I'm almost 100% sure that once Destiny has new content, people will be jumping back in, full bore type thing.
Definitely. And we're gonna talk Division in a little bit more detail later on. So.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty much that was it. The LFG was not good; it was not working. So I was trying to find a group where people can join and whatnot, and have consistent people to do content with. That's why we kind of have some of our restrictions around inactivity and whatnot. So because you just have to keep it running. Because if you let it go too long, you wind up other people kind of get bored and they move on. So to keep the activity high, you got to sometimes cut your losses with people that don't hang around too much. Not that they're not welcome back when they are active, but I mean it's just a business.
Oh no, it's the cycle. Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, we see content droughts. People step away and play Borderlands over the summer last year during the drought from House of Wolves. We see
Yep.
the Division now, and I guarantee we'll see that content bring back people. Again, for the new people, kind of the recruiting process, it's a 2-week process. Jump into as many fire teams, as many raid groups, as many trials cards as possible. Make friends. Even if you're not playing with us, you're playing solo, you're playing a different game, jump in and play with us and hang out, because the more we notice you, the more opportunity there's going to be for you to get in. So
Yep.
I mean, that was the way it was with me. Like, I didn't know anybody in there at all. I got invited to one party, and it was just a stream of invites after that. I mean, so play as much as you possibly can with these guys, and don't worry about doing good or doing well. Just be positive and have a good time, and it'll go good for you.
Yep. Takes all kinds.
And then again, as just a reminder, as Loka did mention, we do have the activity measurement kind of as a standard for members. We start to look at it kind of around the 3-week mark, I feel like. If we don't hear from you, we start to question, and we'll send you a message. And again, long-standing members are always welcome to reapply for recruitment, but we just need to keep that influx of new members who are willing to play active. So again, if you're new to IMMO, if you're new to the podcast, welcome. And I guess we'll get started with the week in review. So, Gunsmith. What the hell did Bungie do to the Gunsmith? He brought everything that was worthwhile.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, did he?
He did.
For this Wednesday you're talking about.
For picking up guns, correct. So buying
Right.
packages.
Yeah, current orders this week.
Current orders this week. So this week he has the Hake Arminius D, the Suros DIS-47, the Amalon Ufern Hand Cannon 4, the Hake Lumidla, which is a pulse rifle, and the Suros PDX-45, which is a pulse rifle. Everything is worth picking up. Seriously. There's obviously an order in which to pick them up, but everything is worth picking up. Bo, what did you run the 43 or the 47?
I run the 43.
You're on the 43, okay.
Yep.
But the rolls are almost identical, is what
Yeah.
you want, really.
I mean, it's a really good scout rifle. It's Mida class, doesn't fire as fast or give you the boost, but it is devastating.
Right. So I would say that's probably number 1 on the list, just because the scout rifle, there's really not a replacement for Mida. You can get, like, there's the Doctor, which is legendary, the Arminius, which is legendary, even the Zarnea, which is legendary. You can run all of those auto rifles and still be okay, but there's really not a scout rifle replacement. Maybe Hunjuri, maybe Casitas, but the 47 I would say is probably number 1 on my list. And you're looking at perfect roll, in my opinion. You guys can correct me. I would say perfect balance in slot 1, and then, depending on how lazy you are, full auto or counterbalance. And then in the last tier would be brace frame or injection mold, depending on that range, the range buff you want. But basically you want a max stability scout rifle.
Yeah.
So that's the Suros DIS-47. Again, I think it's the legendary version of a Mida, outside of the movement speed and the hair trigger and the third eye. So, kind of Mida.
It also hits harder than Mida. So
The 47 does?
I should. Like, what are the biggest differences between the 43 and the 47?
43 is the higher impact. 47 is lower impact, faster fire rate.
Okay, all right.
So I think it's an archetype below the 43.
Okay, it should be just about the same as Mida.
Right, that's what I'm thinking too. But so I would say that's probably number 1 on my list. Number 2 is truly up to you. If you have a good pulse rifle and you don't have a doctor, you want to try the Doctrine of Passing. For those of you who don't know, you want to try the Arminius D. It's the same archetype as the Doctrine. Unfortunately, all the perks that are great on the Doctrine are all in one tier, like one category, on the Arminius D. So, things like Counterbalance, Rangefinder, and Persistence, you can only have one of those. You can't have more than 1 or 2. So you're probably looking at, I would say, Counterbalance, Brace Frame, and Crowd Control, I think would probably be your top 3 perks. Kind of get that high stability, a little extra damage with the high magazine. I personally don't have an Arminius D. I've been running Doctrine since I got a Rangefinder one. I know you guys like the Doctor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Doctor is unfair, I think. Doctor's really that good.
Yeah, and I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of times where just I should not win encounters, and just I'm melting someone. Like they get first shot on me with a Mida, and I'm just melting him.
Yep.
It's rough. So, Loka, you still looking for that counterbalance, or did you get it?
No, still looking for the counterbalance.
Well,
I have the rangefinder, and I have the hidden hand one.
do you
I've
have
been trying.
do you
I've
have a
been going-
preference on which
The
one?
rangefinder, I got one first, and I keep going back to it. So I think that rangefinder is just a little bit better.
I would agree. That's what I ran for a very long time before I got my counterbalance. Still don't have an adept one, but I do have counterbalance.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't have an adept one.
A great tip is if you use the middle scope, the rifle scope, for the Doctrine of Passing, you get just about the same range out of that as you would get from rangefinder.
Oh, really?
Because there's some sort of hidden range stat with that scope.
Interesting.
And I've noticed that I'm hitting people at Mida range consistently with a full spray of headshots.
Interesting. I usually
Yeah.
run the red dot. I think it's the one that looks like the Red Death scope.
Okay, yeah.
I've been running that. I'll have to give that a try today.
That's the one that I used to run almost exclusively until somebody in the clan told me about that, the rifle scope.
Oh, interesting. So the next, I would say, because I run Hawksaw, I haven't given this a try, but I did pick up a package this week. I would say is the PDX 45. It's that Hawksaw, I guess, slower than or faster than like the hopscotch or something like that, but slower than like Grasp of Malik.
It's not that much slower than Grasp of Malik, but
No, it's not much, but it is a different archetype. And it's great. I love it. I think it's still, if you with the right roll, I still think it's a top tier weapon, despite the changes they did to pulse rifles. And then there's kind of two schools of thought on the pulse rifles, this archetype. I run high DPS, high range. So I run, my god roll for Hawksaw is Hammer Forged and Headseeker, and I basically have no loss to stability. So basically I run it up their chest into a headshot, and I feel like I win more battles than I lose, just because of that extra little Headseeker damage. The other option would be like a counterbalance, perfect balance, where you can group your headshots together much easier. Do you guys run or have a PDX 45?
I do.
I have an earlier PDX 45, yeah.
I have the one with hidden hand that we got way many weeks ago.
Right, that had what? Perfect balance and hidden hand? That's awesome.
Yeah, it also had rifled barrel on it, so the stability's damn near max.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I missed that
Never
one.
got a-
Missed that one too.
Never got a good Hawksaw.
Yeah, it's tough. The vendor version is really good, as like a replacement for like that starter weapon, but I end up getting a god roll that's just silly. I'll never get rid of it.
I'm sitting here right now looking at my orders. I don't know if I missed a week, but I have a Suros AR-41 package.
Yeah, I think that's from last week.
Yeah, I was missing. I got one with Hammer Forged, Small Bore, and Outlaw,
Okay.
or Hammer Forged, Small Bore, and Partial Refund. One's got a 28, one's got a 26 sight. So it's like,
Yeah, I mean, if you like the 28, obviously go with the 28 one, because you pretty much got the same. You still got Hammer Forged.
right. Partial
that's-
Refund. Anybody ever?
No, I run it on my
Interesting.
sidearm just because I never get kills with it. So it's really good on the partial refund. I'll get a couple shots and then someone else kills the guy and I get more ammo, just so I can switch off my sidearm. But I'm not as familiar with the perk.
Yeah. You, Bo? Do you have any opinion on Partial Refund?
I
No.
haven't. I've seen it on a couple of different weapons that I've had. I liked it on snipers, actually, because if I get a body shot and somebody else finishes them off, which is 9 times out of 10 the case, I get some sniper ammo back. But I do believe it's only a chance. It's not.
Oh, is it just a chance?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think so. Let me look at it real quick.
Yeah, you guys typically kill the person you're trying to kill. I don't always get
Yeah.
I attempt to.
Yeah, it's only a chance to return a portion of the magazine after an assist. So
Okay.
when I look at like weapon perks,
You're looking for like guarantees.
yeah, or things that require me to not be losing
Right.
and still be effective.
Right, like the life support or something like that. I was never a big fan of those. Like, if your health is low, you get a buff to these things. It's like, I don't want my health to be low. Leave me alone.
Yeah. I'm dying. I don't want to be dying.
Exactly. So the next one, and Bo, you'll have to comment on this one, but the Ufern,
Mm.
I personally, I can't recommend a Amalan hand cannon. I feel like there's that phantom bullet that's going on with it, where it doesn't hit register. You really do have to slow your pace. So what would you think is a good roll, and what comments do you have on the Ufern HC4?
Anything that increases the stability for a hand cannon or the range. I think range over stability. For the hand cannons. So you can get a little bit more of that range out of them. However, the Ufern is a Hawkmoon archetype. It's got less. It's got more stability. It's got more reload, more impact, more range, and the same two-shot people with low to mid armor, which is what most people run nowadays, unless
Right.
they're a max armor Titan. So it's truly the baby Hawkmoon currently of the Destiny universe,
Interesting.
and all the perks are pretty much selectable with the gunsmith challenges, gunsmith orders, excuse me.
Interesting. Yeah, I would definitely say range most, because I have an Ice Luna with rangefinder and I think reinforced barrel, and it feels really good. It's just it's a hand cannon, unfortunately. That's not Thorn and not the last word.
Right.
So it's tough at the moment.
The on that same note, it's not exotic, so it can free up the spot for
True.
your troop or your icebreaker for you.
True.
Isoluna is pretty much the baby Hawkmoon. It's got damn near the exact same stats, maybe a little more stability.
Right.
But the Ufern actually outclasses the Isoluna as well.
Yeah. Plus the Ufern, you can pick the perks. It's real hard to get an Ice Luna drop. So
Plus,
And-
it looks like a cool Nerf gun.
it does look like a Nerf gun. Reloads with liquid.
Yeah. Yep. I love the way all the Amalon weapons sound when you fire them.
Oh yeah, they're really cool. I would love an Amalan auto rifle, but
Yes.
that's a conversation for another day, probably.
Well, there is
Light.
one. Hard light. Yep.
Oh yeah, hard light. You're right.
The legendary one would be cool though.
Then a heavy machine gun from Amalan.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Why isn't there one? Why isn't there an archetype or
A gun for each one.
gun in for each one? Yeah. Never understood that.
Never understood it. But that's a conversation either for later in this podcast or for another day. I would say last on the list is the Ludmilla. It's the high impact, low stability, 4-shot Hake pulse rifle. It was really, really good early on if you got the counterbalance, perfect balance roll. And they just destroyed it. And they tried to bring it back, and it's not there yet. I picked one up just because I'm going to hold on to it, just in case they decide to fix it. Because I do like that archetype. Like, the possibility of a 2-burst is, I'm always up for. So,
Red Death can still 2-burst, but that's next.
like, minimum armor, though, isn't it?
I don't think so.
No? Because I
think it's-
know you can run aggressive. Is it aggressive ballistics that increases the impact? Yeah, so you can run aggressive ballistics on the pulse rifle, which is nice. But I think it can still 2-burst, but it's got to be I think it's got to be a hunter like running number 2 armor.
Ugh.
So, but I can't justify running the Red Death anymore.
Yeah, I hear you. It's really hard to hit those headshots on Red Death now with the extra kick and stuff they added to it.
That's a gunsmith. Just a reminder, the gunsmith orders do leave when Zer leaves, which is 4 a.m., 2 a.m.,
Yeah.
2 a.m. on.
Sucks.
Yeah, that sucks. 2 a.m. on Sunday. So don't forget them. Pick them up. It's a great week. Again, I would say Arminius if you don't have a doctor. And then if you do have a doctor, I would say the Suros 47. And then either the Ufern or the PDX 45, I would say, are the must-buys.
Hoping there's an full auto one for the 47.
Oh my god, I would love it. Eventually. There will be one eventually, because I'm going to hold on to that package until I get it.
Because we got I know Bo and I both have the 43
Right.
with full auto, which I love.
It's amazing.
So that's the gunsmith. Do either of you do the gun, like the test weapons anymore?
Oh my god, yes.
Really?
Oh,
Really?
I wish I didn't.
I haven't done them since I hit rank 5 on one of my characters.
I hit rank 5 on all my characters and stopped.
Yeah.
I'm searching for that really nice, like, just random roll that turns out to be absolutely amazing.
Right, just God tier that no one else has. Yeah, I can understand that. I just can't. I can't justify it for myself.
It's
I mean, you still get a package, right?
You get a
After-
package each level up, correct?
Right, each level up, but yeah, it's a random thing that gives you.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's the gunsmith. Pick it up, take advantage of it. Turn off the vision. Log into Destiny.
Actually, sorry, just real quick. I had a package on my hunter. Apparently, I haven't checked in a while.
Oh, really?
I have a DIS 47 package on him.
Oh, nice.
But this week wasn't. There's no full auto one.
There's no
this
full
week.
auto one. That's correct.
High caliber, hip fire, and something else. Rodeo. Yeah. No well.
So that is the gunsmith. Zur. Anyone else still go to Zur for anything besides heavy ammo?
Nope. Pretty much heavy ammo. 3 of coins occasionally.
Right.
Yeah, he helps me with my faction rep.
Exactly. So he's got Skull Fort for the Titan, gives you double melee charge. Radiant Dance Machines for the Hunter, which are a lot of fun. I would say like an Inferno. Just movement speed, ADS speed. And then Obsidian Mine, which I swear by in 6s. I still run it on my Warlock when I run Voidwalker. Just because Nova Bomb. Any opportunity to get a Nova Bomb faster, I'm going to take advantage of.
Yeah.
So I run Obsidian Mine, and that's been since I saw that Mr. Fruit video when he ran. Seriously, when he did that with the Bad Juju and the Obsidian Mine,
Yeah.
that was it. I was in. 'Cause you get 6 Nova Bombs a game. He's got the Supercell, Zala Supercell, which I suggest everyone pick up if you don't have it already, and you don't want to spend the marks on it, because it's the only year 2 primary with elemental damage.
Yep.
So
Also helps with flawless runs.
also
It
helps.
does.
Flawless raider runs, really.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
For Crota.
There you go.
The Abyss
the Abyss
is a lot of fun.
I
Yep.
believe it.
Plus, it's like a year 2 bad juju as well. It's with an element on it.
Yep.
Right.
It's not bad in like 6s.
No, it's not.
I
And
wouldn't
it's-
take it into 3s or trials, but
And that chain lightning is when it does proc, is really off-putting. Like if my teammate's getting shot and it chains to me, I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
right.
So that's really really distracting. But I would suggest picking it up. It's great for match game in Nightfalls if you still run those, and it's great for like elemental burn obviously in Nightfalls. And then he's got Legacy Heavy Engram if you don't have super good advice yet, or Galahorn. And he's got the heavy ammo and 3 coins. So for those of you who don't know, I learned this strategy a couple weeks ago, and I think Wolfwood was the one who came up with it. It's the best exchange rate to level up your factions is 3 coins purchasing heavy ammo, and then boosting your using heavy ammo to increase your faction rep.
Yeah.
So I get something like 3 levels a week on each, like on a faction. So it's 3 heavy ammo per, and I think it takes 33 or 34 heavy ammo to level up a faction.
That's if you don't already have their class item.
Right,
Yep.
if you don't have their class item. So it's, if you're looking for that last ship like Loka is, if you're looking to get that class item up to 20, get the 25 or that class item or that shader, that's probably the best exchange rate. I'm considering starting to hold on to my strange coins now, just because in 3 weeks we're going to get a new Zur with a potential for new items. So I might start stockpiling.
Oh, that's a whole new beast right there.
Correct. So that is Zur. Pretty boring week. Nothing super great. Zalo, I would say, is number 1 on the list. And if you're a Voidwalker and you like to blow things up, Obsidian Mind is probably a good purchase.
It's just tough because they're 280. It's like,
Right, that's the tough thing. But like Obsidian Mind, I'm not going to use, and I guess I could use it technically in Iron Banner, but I would probably run Sunsinger or Stormcaller before I ran Voidwalker.
Absolutely.
So, but it is tough. 280 is tough, and for 150 marks, you only get 10 more levels at 290. So it's just really not worth it. It's the 3 coins is ideal, but then you're rolling the dice.
Right.
Anything else on Zur?
I mean, insurmountable skull forts. I used to use it as
Right.
for Sunbreaker. It's great for Sunbreaker.
It
because
is
of
great
that
for Sunbreaker.
in PvE, just for that melting point. But
See, I'm torn with Skull Fort in year 2 because I don't think it can roll intellect on it. It's always a disc strength roll. Or no, I think it can't roll without strength. I think that's what it is.
Right. Well,
makes sense.
Yeah.
makes sense. It's like
Yeah, it does. It does. In year 1, it could roll with like intellect, discipline.
oh really?
And I always thought that the perks on a helmet help alleviate some of the shortcomings that you have in your class overall. So, like, because almost nobody ran max strength on a character in year 1. It was all int discipline.
Right.
And so if you could run something that gave you extra melee charges, like Claws of Ahamkara or something like that for a Warlock, it helped kind of balance the build out. You'd have 2 melee charges to draw from.
Right. That's true.
Hero cooldown reduction, but Skullfort doesn't have that. It reinforces the double melees with the strength on it. But it's just not working. I want to slam people more than punch people.
Okay. So I guess we'll move on to trials at this point. And so this week it's Widow's Court, which is sniper heavy, for those of you who didn't know. At 5 wins you get boots, 7 wins you get the pulse rifle reflection sum, which is not great. I would say Headseeker, Third Eye maybe, is your 2 best options.
Yeah, I would think Third Eye, just so because it didn't compete with Nerwin's Mercy.
Oh, that's
when
true.
they were
So
around.
probably Third Eye is best.
Yeah, and the only way I would probably use that pulse rifle over Nerwin's is if it was an adept version, so I got the free last resort perk.
Right.
Otherwise, it's Nerwin's for that archetype, and not in that archetype would be a PDX.
Correct. So we played last night, Bo. What did you? Loco, we played too.
Yep.
What did you guys think of the map? I know it was Sweaty Friday, but
Oh, I think everybody knows how I feel about snipers. It's a really sniper-heavy map, and it's got those areas where you can have a sightline on somebody and not be on their radar at all because you're just so far away, which is very difficult to get used to. But it rewards that kind of play. We ran into a bunch of shotgunners and stuff though last night.
we did. We ran into some rush teams. We ran into the miter push with a shotgun, and of course the last word rush is always a possibility.
I think that I'm really trying to get better as a sniper, and I can appreciate things a little more. So, I mean, this map was a great opportunity to do that. I encourage people that if you don't know how to snipe right now, embrace it, because knowing that playstyle can only help you. If you're a main shotgunner, knowing the sniper playstyle by playing it, you can be a better shotgunner. Knowing the ins and outs that way.
Exactly. So what was your main loadout, Loco? What did you? I know we only played for a little bit, like one card, but
typically I was running actually on my Warlock that I played on last night. I would start with my DIS 43,
okay.
just because I didn't have any sniper ammo, and I wasn't doing the ammo glitch because I didn't have a sidearm on me at the time. I'd leave and I'd run a sniper, and then I'd switch off of that. Sometimes I'd switch off of after like round 1 or 2, or once I got special, I'd switch over to Doctrine or on my PDX 45. And then I always run Truth. Lately, I haven't been running any exotic primaries. I've been bouncing between the 43, the 45, and the Doctrine.
Okay.
And we're trying to, I'm still, I was pretty much a shotgunner in year 1. Never really been a sniper in games. So I've been trying to learn how to snipe a little bit better. I love Widow's Court. I think it's a lot of fun because I know the sniper spots.
Right.
So once you learn those sniper spots and lanes, and you can try and counter snipe, or you can snipe them from another direction, it's a lot of fun. So, and
yeah, kind of like Bo said, it's if you know the sniper game, even if you're not sniping, it's going to be a benefit to you. So
Right.
you know, I know that you know that there's a guy on truck, there's a guy on steps, and there's a potential for a guy to get into like crow's nest. You can either avoid those or attempt for a counter snipe.
Yep. My favorite spot is going up. If you spawn at the lower spawn, is getting up to the sniper perch, but where
That
the
head
heavy,
glitch.
yeah, the head glitch right there. You can get on there. I've gotten people from there. I think even in sweaties, like with the clan, it's just I don't know. Somebody showed that to me once, and I'm like, oh yeah,
It's
this
it's
is dirty.
literally it's filthy. There is two
Yeah.
spots. One looks towards like down truck lane. And just before we get into that, if you spawn at the bottom, from right to left, it's apartments or parking garage, which is the right side. And then there's church and archway and stairs. It's kind of like that right middle lane. Left middle lane is burnt out building, crow's nest, and truck lane. And then the far left lane is B lane, or outside heavy. So, but yeah, there's that sniper perch. It's got two filthy head glitches. One looks onto courtyard heavy, and one looks out onto down truck lane. And there's literally a spot. There's like a V of rocks that you can like put your gun through, and it's just disgusting. And I feel so good when I get somebody out of there. Using that head glitch, and it's just like, boop. Thank you. But so what?
I was also running Voidwalker last night.
Voidwalker, yeah. I ran Sunsinger for most of the night. So I can't give up those burning firebolts. They're filthy.
They're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
What were your thoughts? We played a lot last night, but we ran 3 cards.
Yeah, we did. I didn't run my favorite class last night. I wanted to get my Hunter and Titan out of the way. But I tried some new stuff last night. Like I said, I'm trying to be a better sniper, so there was no better time to practice that than in where it really mattered. So I started off kind of like what you did, Swag, with No Land Beyond and a sidearm. And I think I ran the Trials rocket launcher for the most part. And then switch off to a stare. I don't think I ever once switched to a shotgun. Just trying to force myself into that whole snipe scenario.
Yeah, it's tough. That's why I love No Land Beyond, because it forces you. Like, that's your primary.
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable to be honest.
No,
but
it's a good learning experience, and you're talented enough that I think, and people who do attempt to do this, they'll see that it's gonna help.
yeah, it's definitely, it'll definitely force you to learn a few things, whether it's running away or hitting somebody in the head.
Right, and that's the big thing I think for No Land, because that's what I ran almost the entire night. I ran No Land and started with a sidearm, then I would switch to my shotgun, and still run No Land. So that way I had both close and long range. And when you start out with that sidearm where you don't have any shotgun ammo, and your only hope is a No Land, you're just hip firing, meleeing, running away, throwing grenades, just any opportunity. And you learn real quick how to either escape or how to stand your ground.
True.
There was a lot of good moments last night. And hopefully, I think one of the videos will be part of this podcast, so hopefully we'll get to see some of that uploaded. But I think in general, I'm weird because I was running No Land. Not a lot of people can do that. But I think you're going to see Mida for the range, Doctrine and Last Word because they're top tier. And then you'll see the 47 and the 43, and potentially like Hawksaw 45 if people like pulse rifles. Sniper, it's going to be super sniper heavy. You'll see Icebreaker, you'll see Yardstick. I saw one here after, but after that was it. It was Icebreaker and Yardstick. And
that's what I switched my primary to, actually, was a PDX 45.
Oh, yeah?
On No Land, yeah. Yep.
And then I always switch to Truth. So you're going to run your normal heavy. The Vertigo from Future War Cult's really good. the JLB or JBL, whatever it's called, from the Gunsmith, like week 1 was amazing, and the Trials Rocket's really good. So I guess any of those would work, but Truth is pretty good. We saw a lot of heavy machine guns last night. That was weird. That was weird. But I'd see like trades, like you'd fire a rocket and then the guy would shoot you down and then the rocket would explode.
Yeah.
Like so again, like I said, the call outs, we discussed that. It's from right to left, parking garage, stairs, archway, crow's nest, truck lane, and then B lane if you're on the bottom. But Bo, you mentioned in the Reddit that you wanted to talk about like closing gaps.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the map to do it on, is to either learn it or discuss it. So did you find any routes, or Loka, you too, because you're a shotgun guy. I know you didn't run it as much last night, but you at least know the routes. Do you guys have any suggestions for ways to close a gap on a sniper or to kind of catch them off guard?
So, yeah. So if you start at bottom, like on the the coast or by the river, and you're moving to get the sight line from church up to A stairs. And normally, if you don't see anybody over there, you start to switch your attention over to the middle. I noticed some of the shotgunners last night just cruised straight past A, went to the apartments and circled around, because then when you were hard scoped looking in mid because you didn't see them on the A stairs, they would just come right up behind you.
Oh, right, yeah.
That happened to us on heavy round a couple of times, and it was embarrassing actually.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And mid lane itself too, there's a couple of hard angles you can take, but it's a bunch of different smaller hard angles through the long sight line, and you have to like slide or blink through them in order to close that gap.
Right. And that's, so for me, I'll be honest, the only way I know how to close a gap is with blink. I can't do it with a warlock regular jump, which is so difficult for me. And so that's why I like Voidwalker the most out of all the subclasses. I realize it's not as competitive, but so that's my tip, is use blink. Shade Step obviously is very close, and Twilight Garrison would be probably also on that list if you're looking to close gaps, because that striker type with Twilight Garrison is filthy.
The Twilight Garrison allows you to get into your opponent's head too. You know?
Oh yeah.
Like so much, just like Shade Step does, and
Still don't have one.
We gotta get you farming some 3 coins. But,
Yeah, so still looking for that. There's a few things. Tarantella, I think,
man,
missing.
a couple chess pieces.
Yep. Still don't have a year 2. No land either.
Oh,
Not that I'm stellar with it, but I had fun with it. And year 1 with when people started doing the sidearm.
right.
No land.
I just got mine at 320 last night. That was awesome.
yeah.
But what did you think, Loka? Like, did you see any routes? Like, you said you like Widow's Court. So did you see any routes or ways you could take, like flanking routes or close the gap?
Well, yeah, I was. If I was trying to run a shotgun on there, I mean, I'm no expert by any means, but I would, yeah, blink, since I was on my Void Walker, is huge. Just helps you get that, keeps you, like, just closes distances and move, because with the regular Warlock, that you really you only can run. Of course, on a Titan, I can zoom around on a Titan pretty easily to get around to try and flank somebody or something. But I think you have to have if you're all going to rush, then it's a little different. But I think it's easier to close a gap or move around on someone if you have the other teammates are sniping, so it's like to complement them. Like if they're
Right.
if they're sniping and keeping the guys hard scoped because they're trying to counter snipe, the other another person can easily try and flank that, either going up around B lane, because B lane's hardly ever used. Most people rush to A, and most people rush to church and try and snipe through there.
Mm-hmm.
So B lane is hardly ever used for that kind of any kind of movement. So I always like to try and run down there and cut up through either truck lane or go all the way around and come up past their heavy if they're up if they're up in the A spawn, and then come up behind their gazebo type thing, that little gazebo at the top of the
Right.
thing to try and sneak up behind them and get a shot on them.
Yeah, you bring up a good point because you kind of have to know the team dynamic and where everyone is, both on your team and the opposition. I know a couple times last night we would feel like, say for example, I'm on Courtyard Heavy, and I feel 2 pings, like one in apartments and one on stairs. If Loka feels one on B by himself and feels confident he can get him, you should push that guy. And even push 2v1 with, like, say, Bo and Loka against that guy. That way you know I've got 2 people on my team, and they may push me, and I may die, and it may be a 2-on-2 at that point, but I know I can backtrack away from them, and we can push towards the solo player. So, there's always that chance that solo player is better than you, but but I feel like that's the opportunities you should take. You should realize, okay, I've got 1 ping over here. I know I'm out of sightline of his teammates, and I can push him. I know what I did last night a lot was I would lead with a grenade. So say I'm running Sunsinger, and I was running no land and shotgun. If I decided to rush with my shotgun, I'd lead with a grenade, which either puts them way off balance or I'm getting damage on them already, and now my shotgun doesn't need to do as much damage, so I can hit them from a longer range. So it's kind of just pair your abilities. If you're a Void Walker, throw your Axion Bolt, make them chase. Things like that. Skip Grenade is great for that. So it's a teamwork thing, and it's a map knowledge and awareness of the other team, I think. And kind of like with sniping, it's going to be a thing just to learn. Just keep doing it, and you're going to get shut down. There's going to be a guy with the last word, or a doctor who's going to melt you. And you're going to be over there going, well, sorry guys, I'm all the way over here by myself. I rushed, and now it's a 3v2. That's going to happen. Trust me. That's how I used to run year 1. I tried to get away from it a little bit.
I think that once you come to that conclusion that there are just some battles that you're not going to win against somebody, or you're just going to make a wrong choice at some point and there's nothing you can do to win it, once you understand that fact, you're going to instantly grow a lot more in PvP.
Right.
Because there's very, very few times you're going to get out of a match where you're not going to die. You're going to win, or you're going to win every encounter that you're in. It just doesn't happen in Destiny.
No, it's just not. It's not going to happen. So, but that's Trials. I love this map. I think it's a ton of fun. I think we've got some great groups going. I know I was watching Liam and Enraged Jiggler play earlier today, and I know we've got a couple of the groups. I'll be jumping on once I edit this, but I think it's a good map, and the big thing is if you do like to flank, there are a lot of opportunities to do so. You can go. I saw someone yesterday, and we killed him, but he tried it, and I used it later in the game. They spawned upper, and he went all the way basically to exactly where B is, and stood on top of that wall where B is, and tried to snipe us onto our heavy. And it's a long shot, and we killed him because he wasn't good. But it's an interesting spot because you're so far away that you're not on the radar, but you still have a line of sight.
Yo.
But use the map. There's a lot of fun things, a lot of good places you can go to. And
I wish you could just load up the map sometimes and just run around, but you can't because it's hard to learn that stuff during a game.
no, absolutely, you're right. Which is why we run sweaties.
Right.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about sweaties in a little bit here. I think we might have an additional guest coming on.
There we
I
go.
found you.
There it is.
Welcome, Hilo.
He's alive.
Hilo was our 4th guest, 3rd guest, 2nd guest. I don't know. He's the other guy.
I'm the guest.
Not editing this out, right?
Not editing. I'm not doing it. I have 2 hours of video from last night. I want to use it all.
Fantastic.
Oh, okay.
So what were you doing last night?
Last night I was doing the sex with the T-Mac and the bow
Oh, in the trials?
in the trials.
What? Oh, I.
But
Okay.
this is Hilo, everyone. Hilo, say hi.
Hey, hello.
Hi, Hilo.
Hi, Hilo. Wait. Oh, that was him.
But we just finished up talking about Trials, and we're going to start talking about This Week at Bungie.
That's perfect because I don't know crap about Trials. So,
But you know about
Came at the right
PvE,
time.
and you want to talk about potential for taking Guardians, right?
let's do it.
Cool. So, This Week at Bungie, we actually got some information. Praise Bungo, the Lord of the Traveler. April 12th, 2.2.0, the April update, quote-unquote, will drop free for all Taken King owners. They gave us a date, guys. Like, that makes it real.
Yeah.
It's not
Well-
just 2.2.0 will drop at some point in the future. They gave
It
us
makes
a date.
it makes the date real, but it doesn't make the content any more worthwhile. It could be something
Oh, no.
as exciting as SRL.
And you're absolutely right. But at the same time, that means something's coming.
We have a date to put on our calendar. It's like I have something to do this week in Destiny that
Right.
nobody else has done. I get to experience it first.
Like I say, yeah, it's a nice feeling.
And my birthday's the 11th of April, so
Oh, happy birthday!
Oh,
that's going to be awesome. Bungo knew.
They did it.
Bungo,
They
Bungo,
did it.
Bungo,
Just for
Bungo the
you.
Clown was like, Swag Monster runs a podcast. This guy, we got to give him an update.
yeah.
But, so, it is called the April update. It has a name. It has a number, 2.2.0. And it is on April 12th, Tuesday. What's that, 2.5 weeks? Something like that, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
But, according to Bungie, this is what we were getting. It is including, but not limited to, new PvE challenges, new and updated gear, new quest featuring the Blighted Chalice Strike, increased max light and rewards, as well as sandbox and Crucible updates.
The fuck is Sandbox?
Sandbox is everything. It's the world.
Oh,
So it's like an update or adjustment to the very basic building block of the game.
Correct.
Right. So think like when the Swords of Crota were roaming around the world, or the wolves were prowling.
That would be a
Right.
sandbox update.
yep. Okay, got you.
So, let's go one by one. Let's start with the easy stuff. New and updated gear. Do you think
I would
that-
assume this is the best part. To me, that's the best
Yeah,
part.
that's the best part. It's
Because
something
one of
else
the
to
cool
chase?
things, well, one of the cool things about the game and the content is it's good content. It's replayable. What gets old is when you have the gear that you know you want and there's really nothing else to fight for. To get an update, I would love an update to the gear and then take that gear into the old content. That by itself, if that was the only thing coming out, I would be okay. You think about how much fun the old raids are with new weapons, and it's a similar concept for me. So that gear drop is what I'm really excited about. Something else to fight towards, not just something else to do.
Interesting. Huh. That is.
Well,
that's
do
awesome.
you- Do you not think it's really fun to take a Stormcaller and go into Crota's End? Or
Yeah, right.
But at
Or,
a certain point, how many times can you do that?
Yeah, but then how many more times are you going to do new content? To me, the ability to do something will get old a lot slower than the ability to do new content. The ability to use a new ability or a new gun, that doesn't get old nearly as fast.
and you feel stronger and more powerful as
Yeah.
like a guardian when you go back with all this new stuff and you're tearing things from limb to limb and blowing their heads off with this new really awesome gun like a PDX 45. Like, oh, sounds cool. This guy's dying really
yeah.
fast.
Especially with the light level going up as well, that's going to make things like the hard mode raid is going to be a breeze now. Not that
Yeah.
it isn't kind of already. It's going to be even easier. New guns are going to make things even easier. But yeah, so I am so excited about the new equipment is going to have more replayability on it to me than a new strike. Now, if it was a new raid, I might say that was more exciting. But I think as far as new content goes, we're getting a new strike, and that's going to be about it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, and to further add on that fact, it's going to be probably the Fogoth strike or something around Fogoth. Because all those new ghosts that were added with was it the Crimson Doubles update?
I believe so.
There were a bunch of ghosts that were added, and almost all of them were found within the path down to Fogoth. With 2 being in Fogoth's room, actually. Very hard to get in Fogoth's room.
Oh yeah.
I'm perfectly fine by that. That makes me happy. We need more Moon content. They've updated the content
Yeah.
on pretty much everywhere else. We need more Moon. Although I will say I'm getting a little tired of Hive and Taken.
I'm so sick of Hive. But
Yeah.
I have a question regarding that later on. So, new updated gear is kind of what you're looking forward to most. I like that. It's interesting. Because you're right. A strike is a strike. Like, the Shield Brothers was fun the first 2 or 3 times you ran it. And now I'm over it.
But when you make it a Nightfall with Solar Burn, screw that. We're
Right.
over it.
No thanks. Do you think they'll update the vendors, tower gear and stuff?
I think they have to.
The full everything? Okay.
More because they're raising light level. They're going to have to.
That's true.
A 280 light level gun is not just going to be viable. If they take the light level to 350,
Yeah.
which I think is probably what they'll do, there's no way they're going to be able to keep it at 280 and be able to sell people those guns. We need the ability to get higher light level guns now.
In the Crimson Doubles update, the data mine revealed Vanguard weapons hitting 310 as a minimum. Like, you can buy them.
That sounds sort of about right. Yeah, I like
And
that.
the Destiny or Bungie set a precedent with all the other major updates. The old level cap was now the minimum weapon value for the new content.
Okay.
So, like, because the Vanguard started selling level 30 gear when Crota's End came out.
Right.
Or when Taken, or what was that?
Dark Below.
Dark Below, yeah.
House of Wolves. Whatever it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to... I would like to see more... I'm sick of, like, seeing a patch A drop. That's not good.
Yeah.
But it also means the chance for that 1,000-yard stare is quickly disappearing.
That's another thing we got to talk about.
It
we
is.
got to buy right now before.
So,
things
So updated gear is kind of the starting point. The new PvE challenges. So there's a picture on the Bungie Weekly Update with 3 Guardians wearing Prison of Elders gear.
Which I thought was interesting.
That
An
are,
interesting
and
choice.
it's with the reef background. It's like that purple kind of like misty fog, and like the broken down ships. And they have a Taken aura on them. I don't want to say shader because I don't know that it's a shader, but that's kind of what everyone is leaning towards. So they look Taken. You can tell it's the gear from Prison of Elders because he's got the stupid airplane helmet on.
Yep.
That was the first giveaway.
It was an immediate giveaway. So I was listening to another podcast on Planet Destiny, and the cool thing, how dare I, right? The cool thing that I heard them say was that whenever they do, like, here's the update, here's the Bungie Weekly Update for, and we're revealing the new update. Whenever they do that, they have a picture of things you can earn. Like, remember it was like the Bog Wild set on the Hunter and the Samsara set on the, like, prior to the Taken King being released, and they had like all this different gear on characters in the picture. So it was something you could earn, and that seems to kind of be what the situation is right now. So do you think that this picture, this reveal, means that we're either going to be able to wear Taken items, or have a Taken shader, or is it a consumable that gives us a Taken effect? Kind of like the bats that respawn us or something like that?
I didn't think about that one. That's good.
I have another theory that's way more far-fetched, but we'll talk about these first. So what do you think the picture means, Loka?
I would I don't know. Can that be a shader? I don't know if that can be a shader because
Right.
that's like an effect. It's almost like the old Nightfall
Yeah.
skull thing you got.
Right.
So I would think.
Can you
it'd be-
imagine facing somebody in PvP against that shader?
Oh my god, I would love it. I would love to be it.
If you look at the coloring of the Guardians, it's pretty uniform from top to bottom.
Yep.
Like how it goes from dark to light. I mean, so that kind of makes me think it could be a shader.
But I'm still I agree with them though. It looks more of an effect. It's not a shader. I mean, that is a full body effect.
Right. What if
it's not colors?
What if it's you're wearing a full set of gear, and that's
perk.
the effect it takes. It's like a what's it
Maybe.
called? Like a set boost or whatever.
The two reasons I
Yes.
don't think it's based on the gear is one, all other pieces of gear are unique in by themselves. It's not that you have to wear a chest, the arms, the legs, the helmet. They're all individual pieces. That picture those aren't pieces of armor. That is you are taken. Those pieces are not taken. You are taken. And then the second thing is that they used Prison of Elders armor for it, which tells me that they're not going to come out with Prison of Armor's layout new pieces of armor. So that tells me that those Guardians are no, I don't think so. I think those Guardians are wearing the Prison of Elders armor, and then whatever effect has been done to them, and it might be a shader, but I don't think it would. But I don't think those pieces of armor are the unique taken armor.
Because
you can laugh at me. You can laugh at me when I'm wrong.
No, I'm not gonna laugh, please. But I think like there's sets. There's a Bog Wild set. There's a Aspriot set, and the set matches.
But it does match. But you can see the individual pieces of armor, and you can see how they're put on. That's not a piece of armor. That looks like a Guardian-shaped hole in the galaxy.
That's fair.
It's a effect, not an armor piece. If that makes sense. That's what I took away.
No, and that makes sense. I agree. I just wasn't sure. I mean,
it
could be anything. It could be artwork, and we may never see anything with Taken Guardians. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are they adding a wing to the Prison of Elders?
That was the other question. One of them is: are we going to get Prison of Elders
nifty.
at 42 or whatever it is?
They do need to update. There's been call for them to update year one content, and that would be a good first step.
This could be three things that people have been asking for a long time, and this is pure speculation. That one, that the lack of a Taken shader was just that and a Sparrow for King's Fall.
Right.
Everybody was just up in arms about that. Or a set bonus. If you wear all of these items, you get a bonus for wearing that complete set.
Yeah.
Right.
And then updated, year one content, year two, or year 1.5 content.
I want to say though, I remember right after year two dropped, and I want to say it was Loka that told me this. We were talking, and I was upset, like everyone was upset, that year one stuff was no longer viable. There was no real reason to do it aside from just enjoyment. And Loka, having I'm going to call it experience that he has, was talking about WoW and how that MMO worked, and the fact that once new content dropped, the old content they basically didn't worry about updating it, didn't worry about maintaining it. It was in the background, and so I had just assumed that's what Bungie was going for.
Right.
But even if it was, their community is clamoring for the year one content to be brought back because it is so good.
It is,
and because there is the year two content by itself, it just doesn't warrant that much of a game. It's sad that we paid about $100 if you bought everything individually, like I did. You paid about $100 for one full game of content. But yeah, I think even if they did start off with that idea of the typical MMO, your old content is old content, the community wants it so badly. They've got to do something, and I can definitely see them updating Prison of Elders. I think that's a good first step.
I think Prison of Elders had so much potential, and people liked it so much in like the first 2 or 3 weeks that I think all they have to do is make it an endless mode. Like if you wanted to select it, all you have to do is make it endless, so that the waves continue to attack you, and they get stronger. The enemies get stronger as you move on. That's I think the first fix. The second fix is if you add another wing, and it's taken. That would be really really cool. But
it is a prison.
It is a prison.
You need to expand the prison.
Exactly. So that would be really interesting. The only problem the biggest problem I had with Prison of Elders was the lack of randomness. They said it was going to be this random, ever-changing event, and it wasn't. It was like 5 rotating weeks, basically. And that's not random. They were the same things. If it was each time you spawned in, it was random, I think it would be a lot more fun. I think it would be a lot more challenging in some cases, and it would be a lot easier in some cases. If you got Arc Burn and Solar Burn on one, and you just melted everything, it would be great. But in general, that was the first problem. The second problem was the loot. The loot was not good. It was not worth it.
Well, the loot was kind of guaranteed, though, in Prison of Elders, right? You played this mode, you got this item, which guaranteed you either a weapon or a piece of armor.
There was some loot, but you look at the loot you get from a King's Fall raid, and I know the King's Fall raid is longer, but you get so much a rounder set of loot. You can walk out of King's Fall raid, you will likely walk out with a weapon, maybe a piece of armor, maybe 2 pieces of armor.
Maybe a class item, maybe a
class item, a ghost. Whereas from Prison of Elders, you're going to walk out. You're lucky if you get one piece of armor or one
Right.
weapon.
I mean, if you do the 32 and the 34, you get a weapon and a gun.
Yeah.
Well,
A weapon and a piece of armor. So
the first week Prison of Elders was out, I had 2 weapons, 2 pieces of armor, and I was able to ascend, 2 pieces of year 1 gear. I mean, that was a lot, and you could do that every single week.
right, but that's on 3 characters.
You could do that 3 times a week, every single week, because you got a core from each level that you got. I'm just saying that the gear from Prisoner of Elders was completely guaranteed and not random.
And there's a little bit of a difference between that and King's Fall because it's not a guaranteed drop on King's Fall.
But
However, I
was
still
the
felt
loot
like there
worth
wasn't
it?
enough.
Was the loot worth was
If you wanted to reach max level, it was completely worth it, especially the Etheric Light.
the
which
Etheric
the
Light
main
was?
boss.
But you
That
just
was
had to
worth
do
it.
the 34.
Yeah, there were easier ways to get Etheric Light than to do Prison of Elders.
There was? I thought
Yeah,
Prison of
what
Elders
was
the
it?
only
Yeah.
way. They
No,
didn't add it
no.
to Iron Banner until later.
Okay, that's what
That's
I
what
was
it was.
thinking
They
of
added
yeah.
Iron Banner later. You're right.
Yeah, I remember
And
racking up
going
on
flawless,
it.
I think, gave you one.
Maybe, yeah, I think going flawless. I have like 80 sitting in my vault because after like 24 of them, it was like, well,
But you also got to remember that at the time, Prison of Elders, and again, this was me pre-clan to some extent, but it was nearly unobtainable. 35 was, I didn't finish 35 till right at the end of year 1, and that was because I had just joined, I believe, Hawaiian, and I want to say permanent guest got me the Prison of Elders clear. It was really, really tough. So I didn't get to see the rewards from that until the very end. And that may have been part of it. It was that it felt so difficult, and if something's going to be that hard, I want a little bit more of a guaranteed substantial reward. And I know there was
no
a
checkpoint
theory
either.
Yeah, there was no checkpoint either.
Right.
if you were level 34, or you were level 33 doing the 35, because I don't think you could be 34 getting into the 35. And you did the second to last round where those VIPs spawned,
Mhm.
and those VIPs were level 36.
Yep.
They were 3 levels ahead of you, and if you didn't have a Galahorn, you just weren't going to make it through it.
Well, and I'll say this, I think them switching to how they do light levels helped that so much. I think that was a huge, smart move on their part, was to adjust how light levels work in the game and to adjust.
In PvE, not so much in PvP.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm thinking PvE specifically, but thinking about the difference between a team of 3 carrying a lower light level, maybe a 33, like you said, get 33 being pulled into a higher light level Prison of Elders run with 2 other people, versus a maybe level 300 getting pulled through a hard mode raid. I mean, it's just so much easier to do that now.
Mhm.
Whereas before, that one light level, that one light level was just monumental.
Right.
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
I think that also, if we had had the light level system we have now back then, that might have made it a little bit better too. But that really screwed the pooch back then. It really
Oh,
did.
I can't remember how many times I died in Vault of Glass as a level 29 trying to hit
Oh my God.
for that damn helmet, man.
Right.
It was, it sucked a lot.
But I don't know. I think it needs a serious rework. It has the potential to be really good. And the only reason we're talking about Prison of Elders is because they're wearing the gear and it takes place in the Reef, like the picture.
Yeah.
So there may be no Prison of Elders anything. It may just be a shader, and that's what the gear they picked.
Hopeful, naive Halo wants an update to all the year 1 content.
Right. This
Halo
is
that would
speaks
be
my language.
unbelievable.
this is my idea, and I've mentioned it before, but I want an exclusive piece of gear in each raid.
Yeah.
I just
Kind of
want
what they do with the strikes now.
one piece of gear. I want a helmet from Vogue. I want a chest piece from Crota. I want gauntlets from Prison of Elders, and I want legs from King's Fall.
And then when you have all
and when
of
I have
those,
them all,
set-
I'm a fucking god as far as I'm concerned. Because I'd run 3 raids a week if that's what I could get.
yeah,
I'd run 3 raids a week on each character.
because that gear set could open up a different piece of content for you that you could only
Right.
run if you had that gear. you know?
I just want something to chase. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's all I want. And I think 3 of coins really hurt the chase. I think the lack of content, there is no chase anymore at the moment, other than the pursuit of increasing my abilities in PvP.
Well, I guess, and that was my point to being more excited about new gear than new content.
Right.
Is you don't really chase content, you chase gear.
Right.
So yeah, that's why I'm super stoked for new gear.
So do
really,
they-
really excited.
Loka, do you think they're bringing in the exotics? They don't mention it exclusively. Do you think they're bringing in the new exotics? Or the ones that didn't make it into year 2?
I would hope so, at least at some point. They I don't like. I just don't see them doing much with year 1 content. Only because it doesn't. They can't make money off of it, and it would probably be a lot of work for them to even do it. Not to rain on anybody's parade.
No.
My parade
But-
is definitely right on. Lovely.
It would be nice. I mean, if they do, you better get those flawless raiders done quick
Right.
before they buff them. I would hope that they get the. Yeah, there's been a whole bunch of new exotics that are kind of like buried in a database that we don't know where they're coming from.
Phagomizers and a whole bunch of different. There's something that gives warlocks quick draw. There's something that gives increased tracking on the skip grenade for a hunter, and it lets me carry 2 of them. Not that I need increased tracking or 2 of them. but I'll take it.
Nobody needs increased tracking. Screw
Right.
that.
So there's a whole bunch of different things. There's like faster skating or shoulder charge for the Titan. There's some really cool gloves, boots and gloves out there.
Yep.
So I'm hoping those are released. That would be nice.
Yeah, they are. It's too specific. They're in the reef and they're wearing Prison of Elder gear.
Right.
That gear sucked. I mean, it was fine.
Yeah,
I
dude.
think the idea was you're supposed to use that when you were in Prison of Elders because
Yeah.
it gave you bonuses and whatnot to
I
certain
mean, there
enemies.
there was a gun that the only thing it did was it had increased damage to dregs.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that gear, that armor, and those weapons were meant for Prison of Elders. Because Prison of Elders, I think the idea was with the Etheric Light, it was you get this good armor, then you could do Prison of Elders more easily, get more Etheric Light, and get the rest of your gear up. But that gear was Prison of Elders gear. So
But did
yeah.
they think I was going to carry 4 sets of gear on each character? Because there was one for Vex,
Apparently.
there was one for
Apparently.
Fallen. I mean,
Yeah, I say I did.
So
In fact, not only did I, there's still all of that's still in my vault.
God,
Could there be a year 2 Her Benevolence?
God, I wish.
Oh.
Oh my God, please! I want my baby back. And I'm gonna put the 2 twins right next to each other.
If they were going
Well-
to me, if they were going to do year 1 content and they were going to redo it, that would be the easiest one to do because they can just add on a wing
Mhm.
and it becomes another like little mini strike or whatever.
Right.
So there's from the Taken King cutscene, Oryx mentioned something when the Woken are taking him. He says, "I will take them all." So Oryx could actually be moving to take over the reef.
The reef?
completely.
Yeah.
Except that he's supposedly dead.
Yes.
So there is that.
There's
Yeah.
that. But
We kind of killed him.
that's
But there's Malik. Let's see what Malik
right.
does.
And so that I think someone did a database search, and the Blighted Chalice strike
I think, yeah.
is what they mentioned. Malik is mentioned in that. I suppose
And
he
that's
resides
smooth.
in one of the Shrines of Oryx in the Hellmouth, and it sounds like that's going to be potentially a boss. His helmet is in
Nice.
the database as a strike reward, which I'm assuming that's what this is, the Blighted Chalice strike. But we'll see. So
Well, and keep in mind, Prison of Elders was a prison, and I think if they were going to update the content, it would simply be in prison taken.
yeah, that's potential. But there's also the rumor of hackable shaders. I think there's a new faction that
Yeah.
is
Interesting.
Ava Levante. Is that her name?
Yep.
The shader lady and the emblem lady.
Ava,
Gotta say it with-
Yeah, Ava.
You got to say it with the accent if you're going to say it.
Ava Levante.
There you go.
She has a rep now, supposedly, called hackable shaders or something like that.
More
And-
things to grind to get no rewards.
More things to
Yay.
grind. I would like the opportunity to customize my own shader. That'd be sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times I've been disappointed with the shader. Like, oh, it's black and yellow. It's black and gold. I'm going to look so cool.
And then
I turn
nope.
out to look like a banana.
It's terrible, yeah.
It's not good.
Well, and then certain shaders will look really good on certain style classes or certain pieces
Yep.
of armor, and yeah, then they don't. So, yeah.
They don't.
Editable shaders, hackable shaders would be great.
Right.
Could you imagine the community focus on that, where if people could list out the shaders they have created, they post
Oh,
them
man.
online, and
Oh,
now
you know,
people can have that kind of shader?
That'd be
I'm
awesome.
going to call it right now. We will be getting a Master Chief Guardian. It's going to happen if that happens.
Oh, he's sleeping at the top of Cade's spire.
He
Just
is.
saying.
If you haven't done that mission, there's a little Easter egg at the end that is Master Chief. But so that's kind of what we think is going to happen. Supposedly, I don't know.
Well, that's just the new.
That's just PVE
content,
and that's
yeah.
the strike.
Yeah.
So you think max light, what, 350, 360, something like
I'm
that?
thinking 350. Yeah.
Okay.
I think eventually it'll probably hit 400 by Destiny 2. And I think that's going to be the next update. I think they're going to take it up to 350 for this one, 400 for the next one.
I'm thinking they might do away with the 2 separate leveling systems at some
They
point.
need
Think
to,
I mean,
or at least take the focus off of 40, because all you see
Yeah.
now,
Mhm.
it's to the point to where if anyone doesn't have a 40, you're like, what? And you
Right.
go and you look at their
Yeah.
grimoire and you're like, you're a baby.
Yeah.
That's about the only. Everyone else is 40. So if you're going to show something, show their light level. But
Yeah.
that's going to need to change at some point. That was an outdated idea that no longer works for them, and they need to evolve from it.
Oh,
I
and
wish that-
Grimoire back on the score plate or the Guardian plate, whatever.
Yeah.
emblem plate.
I wish they get rid of the damn level on the weapons.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see. I think that's a bug. I don't think they fixed it all the way. Because weapons and armor still take the same amount of experience now. It's just there's less nodes to fill in, so there's more experience divided up between individual nodes,
Right.
and it just takes forever, especially on armor. Oh
Oh my god, the armor is brutal.
And yet I still have over 500 modes of light in my vault.
So the one far-fetched idea that I had that
Yeah, let's hear it.
I don't think is going to happen, but it would be interesting. I'm interested to hear your reaction. Taken subclass.
Yes.
Oh!
Yes. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yes.
Are you talking one for each class?
One for each class. So a Titan
Oh
gets
my
a Taken.
gosh.
I
I
have
tell you
no
what.
other comment on it. I have no idea what it would look like or what it would do.
I don't think they would do that as a whole, but what they might do is in the strike or whatever new content they're going to add, kind of the way that swords used to be, where it was like, or kind of I guess the way that running relic now is on King's Fall. They might do something where it's like a temporary subclass within a specific content area,
Right.
not just an overall. Here's your subclass. Go use this to destroy people in PvP.
Right.
I can see them doing something like that though, creating like a temporary subclass for certain content.
Right. I just
Titan-
That would be cool
there's just no reason they're not going to do it. It's a free update. There's no way.
because it would be fun.
It would be
maybe.
because it's a
Well-
great idea.
It takes a lot of work, and people need to be paid for their work, and it's free.
Heck, I'm an adult. I would much rather pay for content now than get free content that's not going to be as worthwhile.
Right.
So
yeah.
if I was a Taken Warlock, does that mean I could throw a Nova Bomb, throw a Firebolt, and punch you with a Storm Color punch?
All at the same time.
I mean, that already
You're a
happens to me
necromancer.
in trials every time we play a glitchy team. So
Yeah. Just lag switch. Everyone gets a lag switch.
yeah, that's what it is.
I
It's
think-
a lag switch subclass. Lag switch subclass.
Warlocks would be a necromancer. They could bring like thrall and shit from the ground like the wizards do.
That would be dope.
Titans would finally get blink, and hunters would be able to duplicate themselves.
Titans never should have blink. That's
Oh,
terrifying.
man.
Blink shoulder charge. Let's go.
Duplicate myself as a hunter? Yes, please.
Yeah, you would
Oh,
get like
man.
you would like split your health into 2, and you'd have like a doppelganger that followed you
Oh
around.
man,
I was just thinking you were sending out like a shadow,
so sweet.
a phantom to distract people. I've seen talks about that on Reddit of the ideas for new subclasses.
Okay, so that was my far-fetched idea that I don't think is going to happen, but it would be cool. So, what?
You heard it here first.
First,
Swag predicted it.
Swag
Well,
predicted
just
taking
like-
subclass.
On the PoE thing, I bet you old armor cores and weapon cores aren't going to go away at all. So if you have a stack of them, or you could start getting stacks of them to use if PoE comes back.
Right. So that's kind of the next thing I want to talk about. What does that mean right now for the people who are crazy? So the first thing I would say is that the vendor gear is going to go away. What guns would you guys suggest to pick up just to have?
Obviously,
Number one
Jury.
is Hung Jury and 1,000 Yard, I would say, are probably 1 and
Yeah.
2.
And so much of that depends on your gameplay, but those are two guns that, no matter how you play, those are pretty valuable
They're
guns.
going to be valuable in both PvE and PvP.
An objection or a ruin wake, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep, a heavy machine gun from the Crucible, and Objections from New Monarchy.
Yes, sir.
Those are both really good rolls. Vertigo. Vertigo is a heavy machine or a rocket launcher from Future War Colt. And I guess Vendor Hawksaw maybe.
Yeah, the Vendor Hawksaw is like it. Hawksaw itself, it doesn't matter the perks you have on it. If you can use it, is amazing. And you can say that for any other weapon, but it still has one of the fastest times of kills and fires so fast.
But
I mean,
I will say, if anyone plays enough or plays the amount that Immortalis Rising plays, I don't have any of those weapons, and it's because I had them at one point and got better rolls.
You got better rolls, right?
Yeah,
of course. But if it's something you don't have,
guns are going to be good too.
Right. If you're waiting out on that hidden hand, last resort, snapshot, short gaze,
go ahead and get this. Yeah,
just
get those in
get
your
the
vault.
vendor. Get the vendor one first,
yeah.
so that you have something. Because
man, you're getting
really
me
good.
excited to see what the new weapons are. Oh man,
It's gonna be interesting. But so those are things I would suggest. Again, if it's gonna be like Bo just said, if it's gonna be a Prison of Elders update, maybe you want to start running 32 and 34 and 35 again, just to grab some armor cores and weapon cores. I don't know.
they're real easy. They don't take more than like
20
10
minutes.
minutes to do.
Skolas took me about 20 minutes.
Yeah, Skolas will take a little longer. Those VIPs are still a pain to deal with.
Right. But so those are the things I would suggest grabbing. And then if you're not max light, which a lot of us are not, I know Bo is, and I know a couple other people, but there's technically one more round of challenge mode. So it's this week is War Priest, next week is Golgoroth, and then the following week, just before the update, will be Oryx. So run your challenge modes if you do want to try and hit max just before I drop the new content.
On that note, I would infuse everything that you're not going to use. Like if you've been saving gear to infuse into that perfect piece, I would find your perfect piece here real soon or settle for something and just start infusing.
Mm-hmm.
Because with a whole new gear drop, you're going to run into space problems like no tomorrow.
Right.
Like Hilo and I, our vaults are, or if Hilo's like I am, our vaults are just packed.
Half of it's year one stuff, at least.
Year one raid weapons and all that stuff, yeah. So
that's the immediate future. Let's talk fall. Because this is the free update. We're getting it in April. I would have expected it in May. I think we're getting, from what I understand, we're getting something in the fall that's going to be paid. We're going to have to pay for it.
That's supposed to be an Osiris detailed one, right?
Is it?
Or was that Destiny 2?
I don't know.
I
think Bo's wishful. I know what
anything.
You want.
So, my first question is, in the fall, and even into Destiny 2, what is the exit strategy for the Taken?
Is there an exit strategy?
I don't think there is.
Is there a Taken anymore? The Taken were created by Oryx. I mean, there might still be some left.
They're still on the patrol. The Dreadnought is still in our solar system. It's the main. It's currently the main enemy type. I mean,
Oryx's sisters are still alive too, and Oryx's worm is still alive.
Correct.
So, the worm might take up a new body or a new host, and then that person will have the exact same.
I guess more of my question is, and I'm not talking lore wise. I'm not talking like.
How are they going to phase them out?
I'm more in-game mechanic wise. Like we had the Swords of Crota, and we killed Crota, and they went away. We had the wolves prowling, and we killed or captured Skolas, and then the wolves went away because they were afraid.
They're still on Mars.
They're still on Mars, but I mean that's what I mean. They retreated to Mars. They're no longer on other planets.
The landscape has changed. That's what you're saying. Is
right?
The landscape of the game has changed.
Right. So how do they phase out the Taken? Do we does Cade just go to the Dreadnought and just back it up out of our solar system? Does he run it into? I mean, like.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like what is? How do we move on from the Taken into the next enemy type, or how do we refocus back to the Fallen? How do we refocus back to the Vex?
I bet you. They're probably. This again, maybe wishful thinking on my part. I bet you they'll pull the Taken out of all of the open areas except for the Dreadnought. At least I want them to. I don't think there's a war anymore between Taken and everyone else, but I think they're still there. So I bet you the Dreadnought will stay at least until the fall update. As far as how they get rid of them, I think they may get rid of him as soon as April 12th.
I think it'll happen similar to how the Blades of Crota and the Wolves went away. Is that they'll just be in specific missions or even strikes, and I think the Blighted Chalice strike's just going to be a Taken-filled cluster, and Taken won't be in the worlds anymore.
Yeah, if anywhere, I think they'd retreat to the moon, or they retreat to the Dreadnought, and he'd
I think
up there.
Yeah, I think it'll be Dreadnought.
Because it is, I would think, since we did supposedly kill him, his influence, power, or whatever you want to call it, cannot spread as far as it once did.
Right, because is he like a vampire? Like we kill Dracula and all the vampires die? Like how does it work? Like because lore-wise, that's the question for lore. But I guess the more game mechanic-wise, my question is, how do we stop fighting the Taken? Like they're so ingrained into our game at the moment.
That may be explained on April 12th. I really think I think there's a good chance they'll pull them out for this new update. Because it's been, if you think about when they pulled out the Swords of Crota, it was how many months after the raid came out?
The Crota disappeared. I want to say 2 weeks prior to the wolves showing up.
Yeah, that sounds right. That timeline is we're pushing that timeline. So it's either make the Taken last an entire year, which I just don't see them doing, or pull them out now and get ready for the next content, which is coming out April 12th. And I would put money on that being the case. That that may even be the sandbox update. That's how the landscape is going to change. Is the Taken War is for the most part over there, for the most part dormant.
What if the Prison of Elders becomes like the bucket all the old content gets dumped into? Taken, swords, and all that kind of stuff.
That's the theory. I'm not against that. Because I just feel like, I don't know, I kind of feel the same way about subclasses right now. And this is, I guess, another question. We have 3 elemental subclasses. Where do we go from there?
I don't think we go anywhere.
You don't think we get any more subclasses? You don't think they change anything at all?
No. I think they might make adjustments.
I'm not talking like April 12th. I'm talking like Destiny 2, Destiny 3, Destiny 5.
Oh, Destiny 2.
Oh, yes. No, I think a lot of things. I think things we can't even discuss because we can't understand them are going to change for Destiny 2. I think what that's going to do is they're going to take all the things they know they did right in the last 2 years and all the things they know they did wrong, and we're going to get a very different game. However, I don't think the subclasses are going anywhere until then. If they did, it would be year 3. With the big update this fall, but I don't think this April 12th update, nothing but gear is going to change.
No, and I don't. And again, let me just re-clarify. I don't. That's not what I expect on April 12th. I'm talking fall and then Destiny 2 in 2017.
I wouldn't say so, but maybe.
But I feel like
for fall.
I guess my point of bringing it up is that we have 3 elements. Like, are they going to create new elements? Are they going to? We have this elemental system in 3s. With shields, with like damage types, and with our subclasses, and we're kind of locked into that. They're going to create like a frost subclass.
No.
Moving forward, you know what I mean?
I think there's one path that is yet to be fully explored, and it's the darkness path that Toland is currently on. Because Toland's kind of void-ish too, but he's really going dark. He is super dark.
Right.
And like almost not Takenified dark, but you got the light side and you got the dark side. I think Toland's definitely on the dark side, and that's a place that we're gonna explore come Destiny 2 once we leave old consoles and old technology behind because we just can't sustain it right now.
And now I want lightsabers. Lightsabers, that's what we need.
Yeah,
you said
raise
dark
lighter.
side and light side.
Yeah, raise lighter, baby.
So that's kind of, that's what I'm worried about, and that's why I feel like Destiny is so pigeonholed right now. Like there's like, you have 3 subclasses, you have 3 element types, you have 3 damage types, and that's it. And there's really no room for growth there, other than a new solar subclass. You know what I mean? Like if they keep the same elements but they change them. I don't think
that'll happen.
I think I want them, from what I read at one point or listened to in a podcast, that they are developing something that's more like RPG based, where there's kind of like these several paths you can choose. So I would like, even if they take the solar subclass for a warlock and they make it so that you can be a tank, you can be a medic, you can be like these like different routes, like this tree of skills that you can choose from that's much more in depth. I'm worried that it's stagnant in a subclass and that's it. There's really 3 things you can do in PvP. You can be a Blade Dancer, you can be a Sun Singer, and you can be a Striker Titan. There really is no other room for that. And in PvP, you're a Night Stalker, you're a Sun Singer, and you're a Bubble Titan. And that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I just don't think that there's a good way for them to change that before Destiny 2. I think the only thing you're going to be able to change is going to be adding content and progressing the story, and then adding gear.
Right.
I just don't. That is too big of a change. The only thing they could have done is what they did, which is add a 3rd subclass to each character.
Right.
That was about as far as they were going to get.
Yeah, it's such a core thing that changing it this late in the game is.
Oh no,
not a
and
good idea.
again, I don't expect it to happen until early 2017 probably, but I mean, come early 2017, I expect them to wipe Destiny clean.
Yeah.
I really do. I expect them to say, Year 1 is dead. Year 1 and 2 are dead. There's no Galahorn, there's no Thorn, there's no Icebreaker. There is, and I know they've said exotics will carry with you from the beginning to the end, and I think that's a mistake.
Well, they said our Guardians are going to stay with us the entire time, so we're going to have...
And they may. The Guardians may. But I hope they wipe our inventories clean. Because they fucked us with Fatebringer. They fucked us with Her Benevolence and Thousand Yard Stare. Like, I mean, there's...
But that just removes all the fun of doing the Year 1 content with those weapons, so...
Well, that's what he's saying. No more Year 1 content.
No more Year 1. They just wipe it clean. I want them to say, you know what? We found an entrance to a Vex Gate, and we want you to go back in time and prevent the collapse. And you can't bring back any weapons. I want a Terminator. I want you to fly back naked.
No, you get one weapon.
Nope.
And it's the Kvostov.
That's Kvostov.
You get a Kvostov, and you go back in time, and it's time to be a badass.
Right. I want you to go so far back in time that the Thorn never even existed. Like,
oh, thank you. Yes.
You prevent Shin Malphor and Dredge and Yor from turning and fighting each other. So Golden Gun never exists. Thorn never exists.
I don't know how much of the gear is going to carry over to Destiny 2, and I don't even know how much of the subclasses will either. But I don't see the subclasses changing anytime before then. Right. I think it's going to be Destiny 2 before any of the gameplay really changes.
And I know I sound salty. I'm not. Like, it's one of those things where, like, I just think they're locked into...
They're tired.
They're locked into a genre, and I feel like you could really update it. I mean, you go back, can you imagine fighting along Saint 14? Like, at the Battle of the Wall?
Ooh, yeah.
Like,
that's awesome.
I mean, come on. It would be so cool.
I think that's one of the reasons they kind of set up the Vex the way they did. They're going to, at some point, there will have to be content, even a game built around it where we go back in time.
Right.
Where time kind of ceases to be linear.
I could see that being a class-specific subclass quest.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the Hunters have LC at Twilight Gap, and the Titans have Saint 14 at the Battle of the Six Fronts, and Warlocks have Osiris on the front of the time travel.
Right.
Or even Toland.
Yeah. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. I'm curious to see how they move forward, because I think I'm so sick of Hive and I'm so sick of Taken. I truly am. Yeah. So
I want Cabal. I really, really want a good Cabal content update.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I look forward to shooting fingers and toes.
Constantly. Constant fingers and toes. But
watch them just pop off.
So Bungie will be streaming for the next 3 weeks. Bungie has the 3 Wednesdays scheduled. Their titles are New Things to Do, New Things to Earn, and Sandbox and Crucible updates.
That's the only one I care about. I think the other two are going to be about as valuable as that walkthrough they did.
And that's what they're going to be, I think. The New Things to Do will be a walkthrough. New Things to Earn will be a tower walkthrough. And then I'm hoping that 3rd Wednesday they say custom games. That's all I want to hear.
Yes.
That's all I want to hear.
Please.
Yes. Because the sweatiest part of Sweaties is trying to make the game happen.
Yeah.
Yep. So, do you guys watch the streams?
I do.
I watched a bit of the first one.
Loca?
I didn't. No.
No?
At work, I'd have to watch it on my phone.
Right.
It just kills the battery. So typically, no.
He's got to have something to
I watched it for TTK.
You got to have something to send your naked, topless pictures of yourself to Lucy, right?
Yeah.
Can't kill that phone battery.
So I'm gonna watch them, and I'll probably listen to someone else I'll watch it through like Ithalian or Broman stream because they tend to comment while it's going on. So
I like Dado. I like
Dado also. Dado's very good.
So you're gonna watch somebody's stream, watching somebody's stream.
Yeah, why not?
Streamception.
Yeah, streamception.
That's actually how they do it. They put the Bungie stream up on their stream and just comment.
Mm-hmm. And it's good because I mean, as much as everyone thinks those guys are homers for Destiny and they're paid by Destiny or paid by Bungie to play Destiny, like they are very critical of the game, and that's what I like about some of those guys. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Sandbox and Crucible updates. Is there anything you can think of?
Games.
Well, I'm gonna ask this question. I know what Bo's gonna say already, but is there anything you can think of off the top of your head that like would change in the Crucible? And no, we're not de-scoping when you get hit in the head with a fucking bullet.
I really think snipers are going to have some sort of adjustment. I have personal beliefs as what should be adjusted, but I think shotguns are going to get another look. Fusion rifles are going to get another look, whether it's good or bad. Vex needs a look, please.
Vex Mythoclast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hand cannons are getting another look.
Hand cannons need a look, you're correct. Yep. I miss my Hawkmoon so desperately.
I think damage over time is getting...
It's going to need a nerf on those high rate of fire auto rifles. Just the TTK, just a little.
Yep.
Just bring it down a notch.
I think the only thing they would do with high rate of fire auto rifles is lower the clip size.
Increase the bloom slightly.
The kick?
The bloom, like the effect of your cone when you fire.
Okay.
Just a little bit. That way it's not so easy to hit like consistent headshots. Yeah. Bungie also named their Twitch subscribers. They named them Vanguard. Not that matters to us because I'm not subscribed, but I figured I'd bring it up since they say so.
Yep.
You get cool icons too.
You do get cool icons. Did cool emotes. I will not be subscribing. I'm already subscribed to 2 other people, and that's enough. The cool thing that they did mention is that there will be clan leaderboards on Bungie.net.
Yes.
So you can pull up your Bungie.net, go to the clan, and they give examples of both PvE and PvP stats. They have most kills in a game, longest single life in both PvE and PvP, most precision kills in a game, your best score in a PvP game, and longest kill spree. And they have when you I don't know if they had a date of when you did it, but it does have the number of how many kills and how long you lasted. So I think it's going to be really, really interesting.
I think that they they sort of slighted another community here, Destiny Clan Wars, because this is really close to what Destiny Clan Wars is doing.
Yeah, I noticed that too. That it sounded very similar. Now, who runs Destiny Clan Wars? Is it a person?
It's a third party. I'm not sure of his name.
That's what I figured.
His name is what? Divik?
I don't know. I don't know his name. It's basically.
We'll see how that evolves.
You always see this kind of thing. In WoW, you saw it. They allowed you the ability to mod the game, unlike in Destiny. But all the a lot of the mods that people added onto the game eventually found their way into the game.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no credit given to any of those people that had them, and that I don't think any of those people that had those mods were hired by Blizzard. They were eventually developed by Blizzard and just added to the game and replaced those mods.
It was one of those. I made this. You made this. I made this.
Right.
I mean, I wish they'd add some kind of management utilities for me for managing a clan. Like I like to be able to promote people to something other than just member. I like there be like a recruit thing you could give. I like to be able to take away a clan tag if someone was to go.
We should do vets. We should have vets.
Really?
No.
I would like to see. It would be nice to see that kind of stuff instead of
right.
Top. I mean, it's cool. Yeah. I mean, they have that now. You can.
I think it's a little bit different than the Clan Wars because the Clan Wars is within a specific set of time. It's like a week. Yeah. I think this is going to be forever.
Oh, but that the success of Clan Wars had something to do with it. The success of a third party keeping up with these individual clans and putting their stats up against it.
Clan Wars is.
It's not super successful.
It's successful with me.
I'm not going to say I'm the reason for it, but I did tweet Bungie and said, hey, Bungie, Destiny Clan Wars has got some good shit going on. You might want to take note.
Did you really?
I did.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So
Oh,
I
that's
mean, but it's definitely something that needed to happen. But Bungie's pretty good about giving credit where credit is due,
Right.
especially
And
with
they
some
and
of
they
the
may
third party
they
app
may be
developers.
interviewing them for community focus. We don't know.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
So,
that'd be really nice.
But cool thing, Loka will be receiving a personal message from Deej
Oh.
about promoting someone to captain, because I guess there's a problem with their database. If you create a clan, you're technically not in the clan, so you have to promote someone to be captain, and they take your spot so that they can grab your stats.
Oh, I
Basically.
thought that was only for. I thought that was only the way I read that was only for people that have the clans
The
that
clans, really?
they're enabled.
Yeah,
The,
and then
yeah,
left.
the way I read that is that it was for clans that are enabled for Xbox and for
With like
Who's gonna-
with
with
PlayStation
with
for
PlayStation.
over 100 or something like that.
yeah, 200
Oh.
those clans. And then I also saw that it would be like if someone wasn't active anymore and they were a founder, then they would get a message saying
yeah.
that. Since I'm active, I don't think it'd be cool, but I don't think I'm going to get that.
Clearly, I don't read.
So I got a response to Deej if he does send me a message. But that's another thing.
So I think that'll be cool. It'll be something we can look at. We can watch and see how many kills John and CT and everybody else has.
See how many carries they
How
do.
many carries they do. But so that is the Bungie Weekly Update. I guess so my last question is, what is your guys' hype level? Like, how are you feeling right now about the content? Potential content and gear and everything else? Loka?
I'm glad we get something. I see where they're like April. Okay, so we get something in April. 6 months from now is October, so we kind of know when we're going to see the next update. Because it seems like they're on a 6 month cycle now, as opposed to
3 months.
three
or so.
or 3 or so. Yeah, so I mean it's fine. It's new, some new gear to go get, some new stuff to do. Hopefully, got to relearn things
Right.
as far as like new loadouts, new things. Hopefully you can infuse everything and bring like your current stuff up that you want to keep type
Right.
stuff. So it's more just like content, so you get more infusion fuel, so you can take your stuff up to a light level that is needed to be. Although PvP is probably still going to be the same, where light doesn't matter except for Iron Banner and
The
Trials.
light doesn't matter.
Yeah,
See Icebreaker.
Yeah.
but yeah, like we were supposed to get that kind of stuff in year 2, weren't we? Aren't some of those exotics eventually supposed to be added back in?
I believe so, but I'm not sure. I don't think Icebreaker and Galahorn will ever come forward.
No, Thorn.
Oh, Galley's gonna be year 3. So is Icebreaker.
It'll
Thorn
probably be a
is gonna
greatly
be
modded
soon.
version of them, though. Not the same weapon.
Well, they're gonna be changed, yeah, just like how some of the other exotics have been changed and modified in some small way. But I think they prepared Galahorn and Icebreaker for advanced versions by nerfing them before year 2 came out, or changing them before year 2 came out.
Yeah.
That's the preparation for them. And Cosmo's been patrolling the forums asking about Hawkmoon, Thorn, and damage over time.
Yeah.
So that's a clear indication that there's something going on with those weapons, or even those weapon archetypes.
Right.
That there's changes coming along the way for them.
So, Bo, what's your hype level going into April 12th?
Man, I really like Destiny. It's my main game, but Dark Souls 3 comes out the same damn day that this thing pops. But it's okay though. I'm gonna get that Taken King ship that it's stuck in the vault that nobody can get yet. That looks just like the new Monarchy one.
Yep.
I'm gonna get this new shader, and I have a whole week to do it because I'm taking off that week to play.
There you go.
So
Nice.
I'm pretty excited. I'm taking it word for word what's there. I'm not putting very many specifics to it besides my own speculation, so I'm not let down. So my hype level is somewhere between Prince Aldrin and Artorias the Abyss Walker.
There you
How
go.
about that?
All right.
What about you, Swag? How you feeling?
I have zero hype. I am
Aw.
firmly in the station. I think that I'm looking forward to content. I feel like I'm just repeating what Locust said, but I'm looking forward to something new. But in the end, how fast we're going to burn through the story mode. There's going to be, what, 4 story missions and a strike? Maybe?
If,
I'll be done with it by Tuesday afternoon.
Right.
For sure.
So we finish that on 3 characters by Wednesday, depending on how psycho you are. and then
Like I said, the gear is going to be what's going to keep you more than
of course,
the content.
no, of course, but
Um,
I think, and then eventually it's going to be, where's that new sniper with the high impact enough to res snipe? Because I want to try that out, and if they bring any to us.
I
And
don't think that they will, actually.
I don't think they will either, but if they do, I'm going to use it, and I'm going to test it. So,
But it doesn't really matter, though, right? Because last night in Trials, we saw a guy with an LDR who was res
we
sniping
did.
us.
He used another.
Res sniping of the 170.
So to piggyback off of kind of what you said, Swag, I'm kind of in agreement. It's been hitting me more and more. This is a game, and it's going to get old. It's not it's not going to be the defining game of this generation. It is still just a game, but for me, and I'm not sucking up, I promise. But for me, the hype is around the clan, not around the game.
No.
The game is simply the facilitator of the clan.
You're right.
And I have the hype for the new content and what that's going to do, who that's going to bring in, and how it's going to shape this ever evolving, clan of ours, this family of ours is fantastic. Because with this clan, I may not get new updates, for 6 months, but I have new people to play with, and new people to get to know, and new play styles to play off of, and new information that's going to be brought to me. And so, to me, that's what I'm excited about. Is getting to do this with the clan, not by myself.
No, that's a really good point, and we can even piggyback off of that and move into kind of because a lot of people have joined since Taking King has come out, and we haven't really had any new content drop. So I don't know if Loka or any of you want to talk about kind of what does a content drop look like for our clan.
Well, typically there's some suggestions around like what you do as far as just personal level, like start stocking up on Glimmer, start stocking up on Marks, start stocking up on Strange Coins, that kind of thing, from like personal view, so that you can get the newer gear that comes out or whatnot that is available to you. Well, we're not getting a raid, so that changes how like new content is. It's more along the lines of like House of Wolves, it sounds like, where it's just strikes, and if it is Prison of Elders, then it would be kind of like just find a couple people to play with and run it. Like there's no, it's not like a raid where we would typically the officers would get together and go do the raid, and other teams would pre-plan to go do the raid type thing. So like when there's a raid, the officers would get together to go do the raid to learn it, so that we could understand it and come up with the same strategy, so that we could then teach the clan how to do it, like that kind of thing, and take those that don't want to go do it on their own, or that want to be Sherpa to a point.
Say, thus begins the Sherpa circle.
Right.
The cycle of Sherpas, yeah.
Right. Six officers go in as a fire team. They learn it, break up into 3, and take 3 other people who are considered senior, and then those 3 people can break up and teach everyone else.
No,
So
that was year 2. I was a member, not an officer. I was a member when year 2 dropped, and that was unprecedented. The size of the raid, there was nothing the Destiny community had seen.
No.
So that's definitely what had to happen there. I don't know that we'll have anything that size that has to be learned that again. We'll see.
I don't
maybe
think so either.
maybe fall update, but that may never happen again. Because I remember the admins were stuck away for about a month trying to figure that out and trying to learn the new content so they could Sherpa. I don't know that that's going to happen that way again. I don't know that any of the content's going to kind of be a repeat of the size or the style of content will happen again. So we may not be able to use the etiquette or procedure that the officers have had in the past for future content. But
I hope it does, though. Anytime a raid comes out, well, that's how we'll function. It won't be as dramatic or as big of a problem like it was in King's Fall, I don't think.
Now, Swag, you were an officer back then, right?
I was.
Year 2 drop? Okay.
Yep. I was an officer just before Dark Below, I believe.
Jeez, been around a while, boy.
Been around a while, yeah. I'm a old soul. So, but yeah, so that's kind of how it's been. We did that with Crota. We did it kind of with House of Wolves, as in 3 officers went in and we learned it, and then 3 officers went in again when they changed it from the burns. They changed it and we went back to like small arms and things like that. Because it used to be solar burn, arc burn, void burn, and you had to learn it for those 3, and then they changed it. We learned it that way, and we did the same thing with Kingsfall. So I don't think we'll need it in this situation, but maybe in fall, maybe definitely in year 2, year 3, whatever it is. Everything's starting to mold together. It's Destiny year 3, but it's not a new game yet.
No,
So
it'll be year 3.
It'll be year 3. So, but that's kind of how it looks. So if for some reason the officers seem tied up for whatever reason, if there is something that needs to be figured out, don't fret. We're just learning the content. That's all. So we can pass it on. And the big reason for that, Loco, correct me if I'm wrong, is so that we learn the same way, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just so we're on the same page as far as strategies. Now, eventually, new strategies are always like learned. Like people figure out new ways of doing things, better ways of doing things.
No strategy.
Right.
So glad that went away.
Yeah, but that was the initial strategy, was no nights.
Yeah, there was pretty much a big debate over how to do
Golgoroth?
Golgoroth. I almost said Fogoth. How to do Fogoth, like we do with the one orb strat, we do the horseshoe strat. I love doing the horseshoe strat,
It's a lot of fun.
but I mean, there was more risk involved. People had to learn different jobs, and we just decided doing the one orb strat, and then we mixed it up from there. We did 2 weeks with the challenge mode
Right.
Yeah,
and that kind of stuff.
You
So
just-
I think that's
You create
Bungie's
efficiencies.
failing more than anything.
Right, but
They
you,
kind of
you create
fell and put
efficiencies
them
in
together.
general. I mean, there's a way to get better at it. So,
And
And
the goal then is once the admins learn their process, and then it moves out from there, and then it evolves. We need to make sure that we're still communicating that
Exactly.
with, hey, we learned tonight, we figured this new strategy out. Let's talk about it. Maybe go back into another officer raid and look at it.
exactly. So, that's kind of what a content drop will look like. It's not going to be as big this time, but if for whatever reason, like I said, officers seem tied up together, it's because we're learning. We're going to pass it on to you guys. And like little birds, I'm going to chew up food and spit it into your mouth.
if you
Please
want to go
don't.
learn it, yourself, feel free.
Oh, yeah, and feel free. Don't wait for us. Seriously.
They don't wait for us.
So I guess that's kind of everything I had on the weekly update and kind of review. If we want to talk clan specific now, I guess the first thing is we ran a whole lot of sweaties this week, huh? It was my first week back from vacation, and we ran Tuesday night we ran sweaties for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and John ran sweaties for 2 hours prior. So if you're interested in learning, I don't want to say specifically learning, but just practicing and getting better at PvP
Practice is a good word for
against some pretty competitive guys, it's you're welcome to join up. We run sweaties mostly like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, pretty regularly, and John and Jonak 13 and CT, who is one of our new officers also, they start around 4 Eastern, and then I start to pick it up around 7 Eastern when I get home from work. So, kind of, just for those of you who don't know, a sweaty is a competitive matchmaking. You force matchmaking in a 3v3 situation so that my team of 3 goes up against your team of 3, and then we can organize the rules. And we kind of have some specific Immortalis Rising rules. The rules currently are no heavy, no thorn, no special weapon glitch, and no exotic armor. We have changed it a little bit. I don't know how I feel about it, but we changed once to have no duplicate subclasses, meaning you can't run all Sunsinger, you can't run all Night Stalker. That way it kind of frees up. Double Firebolt sucks. Wombo combos everywhere sucks. So we kind of try and eliminate those things. But if you're looking to play, shoot us a message. We advertise them on the wall constantly, and if you don't get in the first session, please jump into our party, say something, and we'll take a note. So I know Loco runs them every once in a while when he can, and Bo and I run them pretty often.
I usually run about once a week.
Yeah, we
if
gotta
I
get
can
you.
jump in.
We
I
gotta
wouldn't
get you
say
in
I
maybe
run them. I run
Well,
with them.
you run. You're in them
Yeah.
and play with us. So
I would say, from my point of view, being not one of the more competitive players, I love sweaties because like you said, it's practice, it's exercise, it's learning new strategies, getting comfortable with these strategies and these better players that are helping you with them. But B, it's also time to it's a great way to hang out with the clan, to get to know these people a little more intimately than a 100-person wall and a little bit a different stress than a 6-man raid. It's a sweaty. It's you're shooting at your teammates and then you're going and you're shaking their hand.
Yeah.
I find
So
that
I love it.
a lot of people that we sweat with are better than the average trials people as well. So things that I learn and play against in sweats, even though I get my eyes split all the time by, Jonax, Chris's, or Liam's sniper, um, I find that when I'm actually in trials, I'm hitting those shots and I'm staying out of those lanes even more so because I've learned it from the sweats, and
Yeah.
we're just dominating in trials because of it.
Right.
Yeah,
And
so it's very twofold. It's one, you get to become much better at PvP with some of the best players that you're going to find a group of, and two, you're learning your community, you're learning your clan, you're getting to know these people and grow close to them. So man, it's one of the best things you can do if you're going to be in the clan is run sweats with us.
and it's not going to be, it's not a skill based thing. If you're the worst elo in the clan, it doesn't matter. We want you to come practice and play with us, because even if you're getting split in the, you're taking sniper shots to the head constantly, you're gonna learn eventually. By
Oh, hopefully.
hopefully,
Hopefully.
you're gonna learn just like not to burn your hand on the stove or not to stick a fork in the.
That took a long time for me.
Yeah, you're gonna learn not to peek your head. You're gonna learn to dance corners. You're gonna learn to stay out of sniper lanes. If you're not a top tier sniper, you're gonna learn those things, just because eventually you're gonna not want to die. You're just because you're gonna keep dying. And Chris will kill you. I promise you. CT will shoot you in the head, and when you peek a lane, and you will learn very quickly. Don't peek that lane. That's Chris's lane. He owns that lane. So, that's kind of sweaties. We have kind of a different idea with the sweaties. Vincent Shiner wants to run kind of a sweaty Olympics. It's 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 interesting, but he wants to do something a little less competitive that's kind of round based. So 2 teams match up, you do a best of 5, and the first one is like a sweaty rule. Second one would be like sword hilts, like a melee nade, things like that, where you kind of do different mechanics on learning the game. Because if you want to learn how to close a gap, run super melee nade in trials. You'll learn how to close a gap. But those kind of things kind of help out. And so he wants to kind of get a schedule down so that we run it on the same day at the same time with different teams, and kind of keep a record of the team that wins. We're promoting it, we're helping out, and you should see a message on the board today. So if you do have any questions about kind of getting into that, go ahead and give me a message, Swagmonster, or Vince. Send him a message. We're going to post it on Reddit as well, so you'll see that. But that would be kind of fun, something different that's not super competitive, but still a sweaty style of matchmaking. I don't know if you've seen, like, kind of how, like, Mr. Fruit does it. He did something very similar against Planet Destiny he posted the other day, where, like, the first time it was No Land Beyond, then it was sweaty rules, then it was melee nade, then it was all sidearms, and then it was just sword hilts. So, a best of 5, something like that. That would be a lot of fun. Just kind of keep everyone active. And then the other new thing we have is called Roar. Roar.
Yeah.
Roar.
It's Bob the Blob and Vincent again, running raids with recruits, and they have a set time. They schedule it. They throw it out to new recruits whenever we have them, and they run raids. So if you're interested in getting to know some of our more active, more senior members, go ahead and shoot them a message, Bob the Blob or Vincent again, or you can reach out to me, and we can direct you. And those are really cool because they're going to teach you the mechanics. They're going to get you integrated into the clan. You'll get a whole bunch of friend requests, and you'll get some cool loot out of it. So it's a good little tool. Did any of you guys fill any slots in the raids with recruits?
Not yet, no.
No. I know Miggy jumped in once and he said it was a great experience. Everybody was super pumped. I saw someone, I don't remember who, Dueling Duo jumped like 10
Yeah,
light
Dueling
level.
Duo.
So he
Jeez.
jumped 10 light from just playing. He jumped from like 307 to 317, which is ridiculous.
Holy cow. Oh, that's awesome.
So that's really cool. But again, go ahead and reach out to them. I know there's a lot of recruits going on, kind of getting integrated right now. So jump into fire teams, jump into lobbies, do the whole thing. Anything else you can think of, Loka, on clan? Oh, Bruce. Bruce is the other officer. So
Yeah, I was
congratulations.
gonna. Yeah, Bruce, GT,
Congratulations.
and Bo are our newest officers. And I haven't decided if we're looking at maybe adding a couple more. I'm not quite sure yet.
Right.
I am no longer the grunt. It feels good.
Yes. No longer getting coffee for us, Hilo.
Oh, screw you guys.
But again, congratulations to them. Those
Yep.
guys, they run just about anything and everything. Chris CT is great in trials. Bo fills slots, all sorts of slots.
I'm a filler, baby.
And
I
so
can do it.
He does PvE and PvP, which is going to be a big help. And Bruce, who's always active, always willing to play, regardless of what Middle Eastern country camel he's in. So
Yeah.
thanks to those guys and congratulations. I guess.
I'm
I
trying to
wanted to drop one small line about got a continually running thing for IMMO and IMMO clan members, a flawless raider,
That's right.
a weekly flawless raider run. We've had 2 successful runs so far. I don't think any one group has reached the max number of tries before we called it a night, which is a practice run and then 5 normal runs. Both groups did really, really well. Loka was actually a part of the most recent group. It went pretty well. I do run a tight ship with it. It is the ultimate of the end game content. Granted, it's only Crota normal mode that we do it on, but yeah, if you want to get on there, there's a Reddit thread of a nice long waiting list to get people taken care of. So don't be afraid to send me a message or hit me up and get her done.
Yeah, I'm down to help you out anytime you need it, Bo, with that.
That's awesome. The more experience, the better.
You gotta get Lucy in there.
Yeah, I gotta get it.
Gotta get
too.
me in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It was funny after that last one with you, Loka. Lucy messaged me like right away afterwards, like, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
what's up?"
that's funny. But that seems to be the clan. I did throw it out on Reddit to ask for questions. One of them was not so serious, and that was from Crazy for Oat. She asked our favorite song. So, you guys have any feels on that favorite song?
Just one.
Can you name one?
Yeah, Shadows of the Sun by Autoslave.
Okay.
It's
I
also
don't really do music. So...
No, you don't do music? Okay.
No.
Sure.
It's also really good in the movie Collateral. There's a good use of it in there
Very good.
with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx. Bo?
That's the one top off my head, but yeah.
Bo, do you have a song you can name?
Man, there was a couple I was listening to this morning that I'm like, oh man, I want to say those, but that's kind of not too great. Let's go with a good running song and "Danger Zone" by Kenny Loggins.
There you
baby.
go. It's a great. Great. I don't know. I listen to so many varieties of music. Most of it now is EDM. So really anything by Monster Cat at the moment is pretty great. But I can't even name one. Well, we'll go 80s. We'll go "Sweet Child of Mine."
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
"Sweet Child of Mine."
Oh yeah.
Take that. Healer, you got to name one.
Dude, yeah, I'm a musician for a living.
I know.
Yeah, so I was having trouble thinking of one. Let's go with "Where I Want to Be" by The Dangerous Summer. I'm gonna be the guy that names somebody nobody knows.
All right. So there, put it on you guys' playlist. Take a listen. And then the other question that's a little more serious was regarding the division and kind of a discussion about it. So I know I'm playing it, Loka's playing it. I don't think Bo is. Hilo, you're not playing it, are you?
Nope, this
No.
boy can't afford it. Not yet.
Okay. So, kind of what the Division means. So, coming from two people who are not playing it, like, what effect do you think the Division has had, kind of on the clan? Like, obviously, it's pulled some people away.
I don't know. I don't think it's pulling anyone away. I think it's pulled people away from Destiny.
Right.
What that can do is it can isolate areas of the clan. Create. This is worst case scenario if we don't handle it well. But it can create little isolations, little groups. And people are going to get disconnected. Our clanmates who maybe started as a Destiny player and now don't play anything else but Division won't know or care at all about players who are coming in for Destiny.
Right.
I think we've done about as good of a job as we can to keep the clan as one unified clan, to make it clear that, hey, we still play Destiny, that this is not us, not being a Destiny clan. We are a Destiny clan. That's clear. It's just the fact that we've also, all of us play other games. And this happens to be one that appeals to the same type of people that play Destiny. So, that's about as specific as we can get as a clan to say this is a Destiny clan. If you're in this clan, it's because you play Destiny. So, I don't think it's going to hurt us because of that. I think it's just another way for us to interact with each other. And I think when the content drop hits April 12th, we're going to see a shift back over to Destiny a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. I do feel like I'm on the outside looking in. I'm that sad little dog that is like the puppy dog eyes looking in the window. But I don't really care that much. It's going to be it's a great game from everything I've heard, and I'm glad y'all can play it. And I'll see y'all back in Destiny here April 12th. So
Perfect.
I mean, it had an immediate effect on Destiny, like the first few days.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Especially for the clan. I think I had maybe 2 or 3 people on that entire weekend or that week to do stuff regularly with, besides the normal trials folks. But after like the first week it was out, it's really balanced itself out quite a bit. I mean, I see some people on Division, some people on Destiny, some people on Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
So,
Plants vs.
and
Zombies is an awesome game.
It is an awesome game.
it's gonna happen when new games come out. People are gonna go and play those games. But Immortalis isn't about the games that are played; it's about the community that's formed between.
And I'll say this: I love what we did as a clan and what our officers did, because it wasn't just, oh guys, there's this new game out, let's all go play this. We didn't bury our head in the sand about it. We didn't ignore it. We knew, all the officers knew coming into the game, coming into the Division, hey, this is going to affect us. So what are we going to do? We want you to continue to play with IMMO. We want you to be Immortalis Rising Division players. So let's acknowledge it. Let's set up a forum for the Division players from the clan to still be together, to still be a part of the clan and play. Because I think if that hadn't happened, we would have seen a ton of people just drop off the face of the earth.
Right.
And so that best case scenario, we would have seen a few even smaller groups pop up, and they would have left the clan together. But because we're keeping it, we're acknowledging that this game exists, we're acknowledging that we want to play it, we can still exist as a clan, as a Destiny clan, and we're still facilitating playing with this this other game and within the group. And that way, we can all come back to Destiny when we want to come back to Destiny.
Right. Yeah. So that's. Any thoughts, Loka? That's Division.
Let's hear from the guys who do have it.
Right.
I haven't actually got to play it in the last few days. Yeah, we went pretty hard. Lucy and I played pretty hard last weekend, so we got to 30. Did a couple things here and there, but I've not gone back to it since. Because there's no raid or anything. There's no, the end game content is either Dark Zone right now. I mean, they're supposed to be actually April 12th or somewhere around there, I think, is when the incursion gets announced for Destiny, or it's released.
Right.
Or not Destiny, for Division, which is supposed to be their end game thing, but it's still 4-man content. It's not anything bigger than 4-man content,
Right.
so there's nothing new there.
That makes it tough.
Yeah, it's something to just split some time with. I don't see myself going. Destiny. I mean, that Destiny is the game I prefer to play.
Oh,
but I was using Division for PVE content, something to do for the PVE stuff.
Right. And that's the thing. For me, the Division, you're not there for the gun skill, the gunplay. It's a third person over your shoulder, cover to cover shooter, And Gears of War was a great game. I played the shit out of Gears of War, but I played it because it was Gears of War and it was fun. I got to shoot aliens and cut them up with my chainsaw and things like that. I didn't play it because I could snipe a guy from over my shoulder, third person. So I'm always going to come back to play Trials every weekend. That's just how I operate. And I'm only 27 in Division. I should hit 30 today because I'll probably do this, play it while I'm rendering this video. But and then I'll do a couple things. But it's a game that I'm going to play on Saturdays and get drunk and go troll people in the Dark Zone and stuff like that. It's the equivalent of my Borderlands last year. I'd get drunk and play Borderlands and goof around whenever we didn't have content. So, I do like it. It is a fun game though because it's super RPG. Like it's got really cool ways to build your character. It's got really cool ways, different talents and different skills, and the guns are nearly endless, which is awesome. So, if you like to hunt stuff down, Division might be in your future. But that's really all we can count on Division. We're not going to do an analysis of the Vector versus the Black Market AK. We're not going to do that stuff. That's not what we're
No,
here.
that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not what we're here. But AK's better. AK's better. But anyways, so that's kind of that's the podcast. We're gonna do a quick wrap up here, but just friendly reminders. When Zer leaves, package can't be bought. So the Gunsmith is great this week. So make sure you pick up as much Gunsmith as you can.
Yeah, I've got 4 of the 5 guns picked up this week.
Again, our website, immortalisrising.com, for friends list management, Iron Banner and Trials Elos, last time somebody played, any of that stuff. Our Reddit, which has most of our forums and conversations, weekly posts. It's reddit.com/r/immortalisrising, one word. Jonak13 is running the Twitter currently, which is at IMMO Rising. Any videos, posts, things like that you want to check out, go ahead and give him a follow. I'll be posting this to our YouTube, or my YouTube. We're trying to get one specific YouTube for Immortalis Rising, so we can post a whole bunch of stuff. But at the moment it's on my YouTube, which will be posted on the clan wall, as well as the Reddit. And then we have our Bungie.net clan page. Please update your PSN, your Bungie.net forum name to your PSN if possible for the new guys. And
We typically don't let people in the clan unless they match them.
okay, well that's good.
So if they send in a request to join, we
tell them that.
Yeah, either we tell them, like, we don't want people with clan tags, so we send a message about that, like, please drop your clan tag. You can stay in the group, but please drop your clan tag, and also match your name with your PSN to your Bungie
Perfect.
profile.
I think I saw someone yesterday who had just changed it.
And also making your account public.
Yeah,
so
an
that for
account
Destiny
public.
Clan Wars, once you become a tagged member, you can participate in those.
Exactly. And then I just wanted to thank my co-host, as always, Loka. Thank you.
One little announcement. I've got permission from Bungie to use their logos on our T-shirt.
Oh, nice.
So
T-shirts! Yeah!
there is a T-shirt. Wolfate is a member. He developed their logo a while ago. I don't know where he got it from. I immediately fell in love with it.
Yeah, that's great.
A lot of other people did. I know that there's some people. So the idea behind the T-shirts is just something fun to have. Some people. The one that Wolfate came up with, he had the Destiny logo on the back of it, just so people knew what it was. Some don't like that, so I'm trying to find out, trying to look at like where I can get these things, like so they can be hopefully print on demand is what I was looking at, just so they can be up there. And if you want one, you can go grab one, and it will probably have a couple versions, one with just a logo on it, one with like the Destiny thing on it, the Destiny logos on it too. I don't know about colors or anything like that yet, but something to look for in the coming weeks, months type thing.
Yeah, and we looked at a couple spots. I know a lot of the streamers use Teespring, but Teespring has the campaign, so like I know they put it up for 6 months, and then once you hit a certain goal or the you run out of shirts or the campaign ends, then they print them. So it wouldn't be as on demand as we want. So we're looking into couple different possibilities, but we got that going on. And then so yeah, again, thank you, Loka, for coming on. I know it was finding out how to figure out how to work your computer and still get Skype.
Yeah, for whatever reason, my work computer is blocking web. There's WebSense on there, which is internet blocking agent, so its Skype's bad apparently, which drives me nuts.
Gotcha.
It was working. I don't know why it stopped blocking it. Luckily, I was able to use somebody else's laptop and get
Awesome.
on Jeff's laptop, actually.
And then again, thank you to Bo and Hilo for joining us. Great input.
Oh, thank you guys. This is awesome. I'm so overwhelmed.
So, but yeah, it's been fun. So that has been the fourth Immortalis Rising podcast. I want to thank you for joining us. Again, thank you to Hilo and Bo and Loka. I have been your friendly neighborhood swag monster, and as always, stay frosty, Guardian.